Hello, welcome to another stream. How about that? How about that? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, today is Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, and that means today, according to the schedule, we're doing a Rust development. And what we're developing today is essentially a CM, which is an interactive output processor. That's what it is. So you can find the source code here, right in the chat. And let's just fucking get into that, I suppose. What's up, Nuligor? What's up, Tsoding, Carafile, by XXX, Graffiti, Boring Nick, I Good Duke, Tvos Step, John Sass to its nickname, Nuligor, Droka, Arsov, Kolumbetka, Pretzel Rocks, Droka87, hello, hello, Chromosome Drift. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I hope I didn't miss anyone. So yeah, let's take a look at what we have today. I don't really want to put any music today while I'm working. I kind of got tired of little lo-fi. So let's actually do a little bit of a musicless stream about that. Cheers, by the way. I bit my lip really bad and also spilled the water all over the place. Alright. That's kind of dangerous, like, you know, drinking water is absolutely dangerous. Alright, so what do we have here? Let me fetch the latest stuff. So we're fetching the latest stuff. It's gonna take some time. And merge origin master, and let's reveal all of that as usual. Show the 20 GB porn folder. My porn folder is actually available on my OnlyFans account. So every day billions of people drink water together, we can stop it. Yeah, sure. So essentially, this entire program is inspired by Emacs compilation mod. Who uses Emacs every day? They probably know what I'm talking about. So essentially, I should stop saying word essentially. That's what essentially I need to do. Herods and Pots, welcome to the stream. Right, so let's actually open some source code in C++. I do know that this is a C++ and this is supposed to be Rust stream, but bear with me. And if I try to compile this thing from within the Emacs, right, it's going to be very interesting. So you can execute the build process from within the Emacs, and what Emacs does, it actually parses the output of the compiler, right? It detects the file path, the line and the column, and lets you, with your mouth, just click on that and actually jump to the place where the error has happened. So then you can fix that error, rerun it again, and yeah, and it's actually super convenient. All right. So what's funny is that Emacs can work with any output. Actually, it does not necessarily have to be the output from the compiler. It can be any program that prints things in that particular format, right? So for example, another program that prints things in that particular format is a grep. So if you do grep rn, these specific flags are really required. R stands for recursive search, so it's gonna recursively search everything. N stands for print the number lines in the output, and that will produce the like iconic format that compilation mode can recognize. So yeah, so these flags were needed to produce exactly this format. And as you can see, it was recognized by Emacs, so you can actually click on these places and actually go there where grep found anything. So as you can see, this particular mode of Emacs integrates with anything that can print things in that particular format. And the project that we're working on today actually inspired by that. Right, it's a separate standalone program that sort of acts like a compilation mode of Emacs. Seriously. So essentially, let me come up with a program. Maybe we can do that similarly as we did already. So I'm gonna I'm gonna introduce an error, all right? And I'm gonna go to something, right? To something, there we go. And I'm gonna try to build it. So if I try to build it, it's gonna actually produce compilation errors, right? So let's go to CM, I think, yeah, and run the same command from within the CM. So you see, I'm passing this command as a parameter for the CM. And as you can see, it's running the command from inside of it, and it parses the output of the compiler, right, and lets you actually jump to the place where the error has happened and actually fix it. And then you can jump back to CM and rerun the process yet again. It even prints you PID of the process and what command was executed. And it also collects all of the output. It lets you navigate while it's running the output. And once everything is done, it will actually print you that the process has been terminated. But I mean, yeah, there we go. The process finished with the status code, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, and again, this entire thing also works with anything that can, you know, produce the iconic format. I can do this thing like that. And there you go, I can jump to the places where the grep actually found anything. So yeah, pretty much it. What's interesting is that you can customize the command that is going to be executed. So for example, instead of vim, you can use Emacs quite easily. So yeah, I just studied Emacs instead of vim. It actually took a little bit more time because it's, you know, Emacs, but yeah, you can customize all of that, but I prefer using vim. So, and you can also customize the regular expression that is going to be used by the CM. And by the way, for like some people can see that the user experience with choosing regular expressions and commands slightly changed. Now it's a single window. As you can see, it's a single window. If you have to actually press different keys to switch between regular expressions and commands, and I think it's a little bit better. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, this is pretty much the gist of this entire program, and today we're going to continue developing it. So how about that? Hello, Dithanur. Hello, everyone who just joined. Hello, hello. Really glad to see you all today. So does anybody have any questions, maybe, while I'm mentally preparing to continue developing this thing? Jiang, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I'm gonna look at busy drawing UML diagrams. Oh, you're artist, UML artist. That's actually pretty cool. An actual UML artist in the chat. Anyway, so let's actually open the GitHub repo and let's take a look at the issues that we have there. So CM. We have a lot of different pull requests that I didn't address. So yeah, at some point I should probably address them. So I think I created a board for the things that I wanted to work on, and let's take a look at what we have there. There is no UI for customizing profile shells similar to how we customize key bindings. Yeah, that is actually true, and I think this is actually quite important. Those regex is saved in a file. Yes, they're saved in the configuration file that is located in your home config folder. You can find it here, and this is the configuration format. So essentially, yeah, so here are the regular expressions. Here they are. So, and also the commands are also saved in the configuration. You can also customize the shell. You can also customize the key maps. So key mapping, I mean. So yeah, we have a configuration file. That's what I wanted to say. All right, so yeah, we need a special UI for all of that. And there's something that bothers me about the current experience with CM. So let me actually do something. Maybe this is because I didn't get used to it yet, but if I try to do something like this, right, and then I do cargo run, right, and it didn't really work because I did a fucky-wacky, could not find cargo. Oh, this is because I'm in a completely different project. I'm really sorry. All right, so if I do something like that, yeah, so the problem is that you can switch to regular expression mode by pressing R, and to switch back, you have to press R again. right? But if you need to switch to commands, you have to press C. And if from this mode you press R, it switches between these things, and to go back you need to, you know, type the corresponding things, which is not particularly convenient. I want to be able to sort of escape any of these pop-ups with a single key, and I'm thinking maybe something like escape would work. But escaping is actually kind of difficult in the terminals because of the escape codes and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking is maybe I'm going to actually bind backspace to quitting out of the regex or CMD mode. So yeah, I need to think about that. I think I want to actually work on that first. Escape to escape. Yeah, so it's kind of complicated, and I don't really understand that fully myself, but it's kind of weird. So yeah, I'm gonna put myself a note. Easier escape from regex /cmd modes back to the output mode. Right, there we go. So this is not going to be an issue, it's going to be just a note for myself. What's cool about this is that you can easily convert that into an issue at any point. So yeah, that's cool. All right, so let's start developing. So the first issue is going to be developing an UI for customizing your shell. Hello, FreeFall, welcome to the stream. So essentially, you can customize your key bindings by pressing key, and here you can have a list of all of the actions. By pressing on an action, you can then insert a new binding, and you can press any key right now, and that key has been added as a binding for this action. As you can see, you can actually have several keys that are bound to that action. So and then you can actually choose which one you want to delete if you don't like it. So yeah, I want to kind of like have something similar for customizing the shell, right? Because shell is a customizable thing. So yeah, you can currently customize it in a config file, but the ideology of my program is that you should be able to customize everything from within the program itself. Right. And I think I want to create some sort of like a settings page. When you press a shift key, you go into the page. Let me open Emacs because I need to sort of indicate that what exactly we're going to have there. So so we're going to have a settings page, and it gives you a bunch of choices. The first one is going to be key bindings or a key map. And then it's going to give you the shell, right? So let's actually put it like that. And you're going to have a cursor, right? And then you're going to choose which thing you want to customize. You want to either customize key maps or shell. If you want to customize key maps, right? If you want to customize key maps, it will go into this mode. Right, if you want to customize the shell, it will go into the other mode where it will ask you to provide the path to the shell, or maybe automatically detect the shell or something like that. We'll see. So we'll maybe need something, but is that even a good idea? Is that even a good idea? Because for keys, it kind of does make sense. Because it's definitely not convenient to customize the keys from the config file, right? But for the shell, actually customizing shell from the config file is more convenient than from the UI. So I don't know, it's kind of a weird dilemma. A clockwork mechanism is called an escape. Very interesting, thank you. Thank you for sharing that information. So I'm still like, I'm just actually having a debate right now. Do I really want to add that mechanism? Isn't it short for an anchor escapement in clockwork? Maybe. I don't really know anything about, you know, this kind of stuff. So because it's, I don't know if I will be able to make a convenient shell editing. But let's give it a try. Why not? Let's give it a try. Maybe it's gonna work out. So yeah. So I was gonna do CM. And let's go. So I still have a test. I don't really want to remove that test because it contains quite useful characters. that I really want to, you know, have for testing things. So let's introduce that settings page, and maybe if it's not going to be super useful, we can always remove it, right? I'm still experimenting with different things and idioms. So I feel like I'm like slightly overcomplicating things, but not too much. Okay, so we have a key map settings, and key map settings is sort of like a scene that have a particular state, and when you render it, it has other things to render it. So maybe we need to introduce another one, which is going to be called settings. Just something is going on. Excuse me. All right. I'm going to even created a pair with panels to choose shells. He writes scripts and tests them in different shells. But I removed that. Oh shit. Should have not removed that. So, well, I mean, they didn't complain. So, I mean, I can get it back when they complain. All right, so let's actually introduce something like settings, right? So it's going to be settings RS. And I'm going to use super to include all of the modules that I need here. Right, and we're going to introduce structure called. Do I already have structure settings? I don't quite know. Something is strange. For some reason, sometimes I cannot use my search. It's really weird. So let me grab rn struct settings. Do I already have that? Do I already have that? I don't really think so. Yeah, that was not. Yeah, I should have actually enclosed that in parentheses. Yeah, so we don't have that, which is cool. All right, so we're gonna have settings. Right, so here are the settings, and so in the settings we want to have like a different state, I suppose. So this thing should be public, but maybe the internal state of the settings should not be public. Let me see. So, and what kind of states can we have here? What kind of states? The first state is either. Oh shit. It's kind of sophisticated. So the state. So there could be three states, like just the primary state when you are in the settings page, when you are on the settings page, and then when you choose key maps and when you choose the shell. So that's essentially how many states you have, but I'm not sure how to represent that. So let's actually call it primary, then key map, and then shell, right? Then we're gonna call it shell. I'm not really sure if it's a good idea. Like I always having a second thought if all of that is a good idea. So impulse settings, let's just try to implement that and see how it goes. So then I want to render that, and when I want to render that, I want to have a rectangle that renders all of that. Do I need to have anything else? Maybe I do need something like handle key, which will accept a keystroke, and I think we do have a keystroke notion here. I don't remember if I have to pass it by a reference. I think I do pass it by a reference all the time these days. And I guess that is pretty much it. I think I need a way to construct the settings, right? So we're gonna have a fan. So do I need to mark them as public? I think I do need to mark them as public. When would you have impulse something for something else versus only impulse something? When you're implementing an interface, right? If you have a particular interface or a particular trait and you want to implement that trait for a structure, right? For example, you can have a trait, a debug, that enables debug printing for that type. You would implement debug trait for settings, and then you will have to implement each individual method of that debug trait. So, right. But if you're not implementing any traits or as I would call them interfaces, but they're called traits in Rust, and you want to create methods that are part of the settings, you just do implement settings. Would you have those separate? Yes, you would have them separate. So you're going to have like a debug for settings, right? Then for another interface, something like, I don't know, equal for settings. And all of that is going to be, all of these things are going to be separate. So yeah. So this is a basic Rust syntax. So yeah. So if you want to learn more about that, I would recommend you some of these resources that Out9 compiled some time ago. Yeah, I don't know. So every time somebody asked what to learn about Rust, she always gave these 3 links, and I just put them into command because I mean, I never read them, but I believe her that that's a good resources to learn Rust. I don't really know Rust myself, so maybe they're good. I think they are. Because they are official resources. Anyway. So when we are creating settings, self is going to be a state, and the state initial state is going to be primary. There we go. Hello Katul, welcome to the stream. Welcome. How are you doing? Yep. And depending on the rendering, we want to actually have different kind of things. All right. I mean, depending on the state. So we'll have to match the state. And what kind of states we have? So we have this thing, right? So, and depending on these things. I don't quite remember. Do I need to do case? I don't remember. Does it have a key? No. Okay, so I can just do it like that. I forgot how to pattern match in Rust. I keep forgetting how to do that every time. So you just do match expression and then you have cases. Okay, I see. I program in too many languages to remember how to do all of this stuff. So essentially, you can see how when you press on any of the actions, the list of actions is still there and the screen splits and reveals this kind of thing. So I want to have something similar, right? So we're going to have a settings page, and maybe I should actually draw that. So let me quickly do that. Let me quickly do that. Just a second. Let me bring my a tablet. I'm going to just plug it in. So that was the sound of the tablet plugging in. Right. So we're going to have this kind of screen. Right. So, and you're gonna have a settings option, I suppose. Cozy White Bear, welcome to the stream. Welcome. So settings. Right. Then you're gonna have something like that. Then you're gonna have options shell, options shell, and options what? Key map. Right. Key map. Right. And when you press on one of them, it's gonna split similarly to how it does for the actions, right? And you can sort of go deeper and deeper. You see what I mean? It just simply goes deeper and deeper. So this is, we're gonna have this kind of sort of structure. And I wonder if there's like an easy way of describing that. Maybe we can create like a declarative language that describes the structure of the settings and different fields you can have there, and then we can have an interpreter that reads all of that and presents you in a particular way. But I'm not sure, because if you code that directly, right? If for each individual page you're gonna have a structure that redirects you and renders everything accordingly, you're gonna end up with pretty much like similar declarative thinking. So can I filter the result of CM buffer like a grep inside of the result? Well, you can actually pipe your command through a grep before sending it to CM. So it's actually not that difficult. Just a second. Right. So essentially, right, you can actually pipe things, right? So because you are providing a string as an argument for this thing. You're actually providing a string, and that string is actually sent to the shell, right? Here I can do something like this, and as you can see, it worked. So yeah, if you want to grab something, you can just do that on the level of a shell. So yeah, I don't think that you need to have a special CM support for that. All right. Anyway, so I want to have like immutable item list similar to key maps here. So yeah, there we go. So here's the key map. Oh boy. Oh, that's actually very interesting. So it's not, it's actually key map settings. Here we go. So we have a key map settings and we have like item lists. And then we are initializing them and they become immutable. And they are immutable because we're not forwarding any actions that can modify them. All right. So what we can have here is a list of pages, a list of settings pages, and this is basically an item list of strings, I think. Yeah, it's an item list of strings. To be fair, so we can actually do something like this. Page. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. And then we can have something like selected page. And since the page cannot be selected, we can say that it's optional, right? So it's an option page. If it's not currently selected, so we don't have anything here, and a list of pages can be actually a page. Oh shit, that's actually pretty cool. So yeah, selected page and this thing. And for a page to be actually compatible with the item list, I think you need to implement to string interface for this particular type. Yeah, so speaking of interfaces, so now I'm gonna do impl to string for page. And what that thing means, that means that this type is going to be convertible to string. So it's a simple interface that lets you convert any type for which this interface is implemented to a string. And item lists only works with these kind of types. So we're going to have a type that represents the currently selected page in the settings, and we're going to implement a string for it, and that means we'll be able to make it compatible with the item list. All right, so I don't remember what exactly you have to implement for this thing, so maybe I'm going to just go ahead and try to compile it and follow the compilation compiler suggestions. So let's do cargo build, and it worked because we never actually built this module because this module is not included anywhere. So I'll have to probably go and include it somewhere. So let me quickly do that. It's going to be pub mod settings, right? Mod settings pub use self settings. Yeah, there we go. Finally, a proper programming language. Well, I suppose, maybe, I don't know. I know nothing about programming languages, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna actually remove this thing because it doesn't represent what we currently have in the program. So here's the state. So original page is gonna be none because nothing is selected. List of pages is gonna be something like item list new, right? And does it really work? Oh, and this thing also has to be clonable, so I have to do something like derive and clone, and let's actually try to do that. Okay, so there we go. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted the compiler to tell me what methods I need to implement for this type. Right, and this is the method that I need to implement here. There you go, thank you so much. So, and it needs to be converted to a string. Yep. How are we going to convert that? I suppose I'm going to just pattern match this entire thing and come up with the strings myself. So if it's a key map, I'm going to return key map. Maybe something like this. To be fair, I could have just called it key map as well here, and then shell, return shell. Maybe you can implement some sort of like a debug thing. Not sure if it's needed. I'm pretty sure you have some sort of special interfaces there, but whatever. And this thing needs to be converted to a string. Yeah, otherwise it's not going to work properly. So what do we have here? To match one variant, qualify. Oh, you have to actually specifically, yeah. So to you know, to be less ambiguous. Oh, and by the way, these things have to you know, actually accept self. And in case of the handle key, it has to be a mutable self. I see, I see. All right, so everything seems to be pretty good. Everything seems to be compilable. We only have warnings for unused things, but it doesn't really matter that much. All right, so now we need to implement the rendering. Oh, not really. We need to populate the list of pages, actually. We need to populate the list of pages. I don't remember. Is it possible to iterate through all of the values of an enumeration? So what do I do for a living? Check out my FAQ, by the way. It's that question is answered in FAQ. Thank you very much. All right. So let me see. I keep forgetting if it's possible or not. Rust iterate in num. Yeah, I already googled that, but I keep forgetting how to do that. I think there's no way to do that except using some crate, but I suppose it's not that bad. So it's a crate. Tools to iterate over the variants of a field list in num. All right, is it available? Does it come with the installation of Rust? I don't really know about that, so I kind of want to start using that. Using that. So, is there like additional information on this crate? So if I do something like cargo, crates IO, yeah, it's actually crates IO. So enum iterator, so enum iterator, and I want to see the official repo. What's the repository of this thing? No, it's someone else thingy, unfortunately. It is definitely someone else thingy. And I wonder how, the problem is that if I add a new page here, I'll have to not forget to modify another place there, so which is not ideal in my opinion. But anyway, so let's actually implement something like this list of pages. Right, so this is what we're gonna have. It's gonna be use crate strum. Sounds like a bloat already. Sounds like a bloat already. It has trait for iterating enums. Is it one of those huge libraries where I don't need 99% of the things and I'm supposed to use it for then one single trait there? If it's one of those, I'm not really interested. I'm really sorry. Yeah. So let me take a look. Strum is a set of macros and traits for working with enums and strings easier in Rust. Okay, so I was actually right. So, and it also depends on a shit ton of other things. No, it actually, it's really strange. I don't really trust this thing. Such a simple thing not possible in vanilla Rust. This is very easy in Zig. Cool. All right. Item list new, and then I'm gonna actually put this thing here. And before we're gonna put it there, I wanna simply do list of pages. And how do I push things? I don't quite remember. Item list. So do we have push to add new things there? We actually don't. That's really strange. You cannot push a new element. Alright, so let's actually quickly implement it. I suppose you cannot because you're supposed to access the items there, but I want to actually slowly move away from exposing guts of the item list. So I'm going to just implement push operation, which is going to be pub-fn. Right. I think we have insert, but insert is used for you know, for UI manipulation with the stuff. So it depends on the cursor. All right, so if I'm going to push an item, so here is the new item, and we're going to do, you also have to accept mutable self. There we go. So here's the mutable self, here's the items, and we're going to push that item specifically, and hopefully that will compile. So I'm going to go back to here, and then I'm going to push page key map, and then I'm also going to push page shell. So, and if I'm going to add another thing there, I'll definitely going to forget about that. It's kind of, I wonder how Strum, for example, implements that. Enum string, convert strings of enum's variants. Okay, enum variant names, enum iter. Okay, this one is interesting, I think. So we have enum iter, and then you have this. Can I implement my own enum iter? How difficult it is to have it there without using Strum? Because I don't really want to depend on this thing. Miss Lantern subscribed at tier 1. Your first subscription, by the way. Thank you. Thank you so much for your first subscription, and welcome to our epic Rust Club. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the support. What happened with Rust that you don't have the need to annotate the lifetime anymore? I don't really know, but at some point they sort of improved like lifetime inference. Wayne 955.
Hello.
That was a weird text-to-speech. Did they change text-to-speech? I didn't really know, but thank you so much for a year. For a year of Twitch Prime support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome back to our epic Rust development club. That's right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So did you make that sub notification sound? Yes, I actually made that sound, sub notification sound. So yeah, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Didn't really expect any subs today, to be fair, because we recently had a huge sub train, so I thought like everyone already resubscribed and we're not gonna have much subs throughout the month. But thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So can I implement this thing myself? Right. So essentially, enum iter. Yeah, this looks very painful. Oh boy, oh boy. This actually looks very painful. All right. So maybe I'm gonna just close that. But yeah. Okay, let's not focus on, you know, on improving maintainability right now until we have actually something working, right? So I want to have something working, and then later we can figure out how to make it more maintainable. So essentially, if I want to render the settings page, I need to match its... I'm really sorry that I'm actually twitching my leg all the time because it makes the chair squeak. I really apologize for that. I actually noticed that by watching my previous votes. It's actually kind of annoying. I'm so sorry. Like, since I started to upload videos, like VODs on YouTube, I actually started watching them and I actually started to notice a lot of annoying things, and I'm actually super self-aware about them. So I'm really sorry about that. All right, which is actually a good thing. Like, it's you know, it's better be aware of all of that stuff. Right, so when it's none, what I need to do here is to render the settings page, the whole settings page on the whole screen. So what I need to do, there's some kind of implementation here, but it's pretty old. Thank you so much. I'm gonna look into how to iterate enumerations a little bit later. As a matter of fact, I think I need to put a to-do here, right, so I don't forget about it later. It would be better to have I don't know how to say that. It's easy to forget to update list settings list of pages in initialization when page definition, when page definition is changed. There we go, when page definition is changed. Yeah, I'm uploading votes. You can actually find that here. There we go. So yeah, so it doesn't contain all of the votes. It contains starting from yesterday, I think. Yeah, so I started to upload them yesterday. All right, so we have what to do for that. And all right, so there's a list of pages, and I want to render that list of pages. Let me find item list, and I'm going to do a render, and when I render I need to check whether it's focused or not. Okay, so in this particular situation I know that it's focused, right? So it's going to be rect and it's focused. There we go. If it's some page key map, this one is going to be actually very interesting. So it's going to be some page key map, and let's actually put to do here. And another one is going to page shell, and it's also going to be to do. There we go. So let me see if all of that compiles. So it's actually called key map. Hello, Grill Christian, by the way. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? So how are we going to handle all of that? So I suppose depending on the current situation, yet again, so we have selected page, so we have a little bit of a polymorphism here. By the way, does anybody know what's the idiomatic way of doing polymorphism in Rust? Is it through like enumerations, or there is something related to traits? I heard there is something related to traits. I don't really know. I don't really know idiomatic Rust. Maybe that's why I shouldn't program in Rust, but I kind of enjoy programming in Rust from time to time. Okay, so when handling case, we don't have that. If we are in page, I'm gonna have that. Some page shell, I'm gonna have that. So I'm gonna implement like these separate things for these separate situations. All right, so keystroke is unused. Can I just mark it as unused? I think I can. Oh shit. Yes, I do remember that. Apparently, yes. Oh, it's very interesting. Apparently, if you want to render something, it has to be mutable, like at least list of items. List of items is modified every time you try to render that. Yeah, I do remember that hack. It's actually a very interesting hack. Alright, overall it seems to be compiling, but it's not going to be reflected in the actual behavior of the program, right? So because we don't use that settings page anywhere. So I think we'll have to go to the main part and find settings, key map settings, and start using key settings instead of key map settings. So it's going to be settings, and let's go through the compilation errors. So I'm going to query replace key map settings with just settings. I should actually do that a little bit more careful. There we go. And that's very interesting. So global also has key map settings. So let me take a look at what is going on here. Key map set. Okay, so it has to be called settings then as well, right? So it just checks what mode we're in, which is kind of interesting. Can we move settings mode into the mode itself? I think it's a good idea. I'm gonna actually go ahead and do that. So we're gonna have output rejects commands and settings, and I'm gonna try to remove the settings, and it's actually centralizes all of these things quite well, I think. I think I'm starting to like that. All right, so we'll probably have to go through a couple of things here. Depending on what we have here. So if it's so that means we'll have to save this thing, then go somewhere here. So I'm going to comment it out temporarily. So yeah, we're having a little bit of a refactoring moment. I kind of like that. Okay, and then here I'll have to do mod settings, and in case of the settings mode, we're going to just do these things. Plant UML is a pain. I don't even know what it is, but judging from the name, I can tell that it's something related to drawing UMLs. So I add literally one node and everything explodes. Fuck. So it sounds like a Microsoft Office experience. So yeah. So, but I don't have any experience with these things. Every time I tried to draw UML diagrams for something that I do, I find it incredibly useless. I never actually use them, like, ever. It's kind of strange. It feels like a glorified front end for graph. Oh, it even uses GraphViz, and then underneath it, oh my god, this is such a low effort program. Seriously. I really don't understand how people find it, find UML useful. Like, I think people who promote UML, they don't really program, like, daily. Seriously. They think they know anything about programming, but they don't program at all. And that's why they have these weird ideas. And since quite often these people are in a position of power, so they usually, you know, enforce that on everyone. So yeah, it's kind of dumb, but yeah. Because why would you duplicate your code in the form of a diagram? Because if you modify your code, your diagram will change, and if you modify your diagram, now we have to keep them in sync. It's just more things to keep in sync, right? It's kind of doesn't really make any sense. All right, so what do we have here? So global settings, we have a similar situation here as well, I suppose. Right, and for the settings, I'm gonna have like a mod settings. Mod settings, this is that. And there we go. So we don't have this condition anymore, which is kind of interesting. I use them only to justify big code changes. What's your opinion on LaTeX? I don't really have any particular opinion on LaTeX, but I don't really know. To be fair, it's pretty cool for math formulas, I would say. And I personally use that for my thesis in university. So I guess it's cool. I don't know. Supply 2 arguments, expected 1 argument. Okay, so you don't have to actually mark it. Yeah, yeah, there we go. I see what it means. All right, key map settings. So we don't need that anymore. So open key map settings. Oh shit. Okay. So this is a global keys. So that means I probably want to do like a mode, and the mode is going to be mode settings. There we go. So I'm just going through all of the places where I have a compilation errors. So when I do back, and it depends on where exactly I'm doing back. That's strange. How am I going to signal that back? I don't really know how to signal that back, because now I need to indicate that we can make this thing return something, like a boolean or whatnot. Right, so essentially that indicates that you have to go back. Right, essentially what I'm trying to do here, I want to have settings, right? Right, I want to have settings, so struct settings. Rust mode. And essentially, I want to have different pages of settings. So page 1, right? Page 2. Maybe it's going to be different type of pages. So they can be different types of pages, and so on and so forth. Page 3. And there's also an indicator of the current page, right? Something that indicates the current page. So I don't know what type could it be. It's usually enumeration or whatnot. The pages themselves are different types that can hold more other pages, right? And so I need some sort of like a way to indicate how can I go from the page back. So it feels like I need to start developing like a framework for defining pages and UIs, and that feels incredibly like outside of the scope of what I'm trying to do here. Oh boy. Shit. But that could be actually very interesting, maybe. I don't know, like a UI framework. User continuation passing style. I don't really know what it is. I only heard about continuations. I don't really know how continuations work, unfortunately. So I'm really sorry about that. What is the list of items up? Well, list of items is a widget that contains items, and it has a cursor. So up just steps the cursor one step up. That's what it's doing. All right. So I feel like it's like what I need to do here is incredibly outside of the scope of the whole application, and it's basically gonna it's basically gonna waste a lot of my time. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But Iron continue should basically callbacks. No, not really. They also like save a little bit of context and stuff like that. So yeah. But even though settings page idea is not really useful, I believe this key map selection page is useful. I think is useful because it makes it incredibly easy for you to modify things. But I don't really know. I don't really know. So it feels kind of weird that I'm not gonna have like a fully customizable config, and I only gonna have like things for this. It just sounds incredibly weird. Like if I'm gonna make it customizable, I want to make it customizable for everything. But maybe that could be like additional, you know, thing for me to develop over time. Yeah. Okay, I need to think actually, chat. I need to think. I think I want to make a small break. So I'm gonna make how many minutes I want to make? I want to make like maybe 3 minutes. Yeah, let's make a small break, chat. So let's listen to some music. Let's listen to some music. And then after a small break, I'll probably make a decision. Right. Let's make a small break, and you guys have fun. Yo, welcome back to champions of the Rust Club. I don't know what I said, sorry. How everyone is doing. So, I think I have a lot of bloat in my program, so maybe all of this entire... Maybe I think this entire settings page idea doesn't really work out for me. At least I have a feeling that it does not. Because here, like, my original idea was that the thing is going to be fully customizable from the application itself. Right, hello Austrian Pine, welcome to the stream. And then you never have to modify the settings file yourself. But then I realized that it's kind of difficult to do all of that, unless we have a special frameworks for the settings. And maybe that's what I have to do. Like a special framework for the settings, essentially. Something like the settings page is going to consist of, like maybe we're going to have like a JSON file that describes the settings. Right, so pages. Right, and you have a list of those things, and each individual page has a list and stuff like that, so sort of like a declarative framework for describing settings. And I'm really afraid to go that route. I'm really afraid to go that route because I think it's not gonna really work well. So I'm kind of stuck on that idea. So I'm gonna actually back up a little bit. Because I need more time to think about all of that. Almost like HTML. Maybe this. MM2PL, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? So I think I'm stuck on that particular front. So maybe I'm gonna actually go and solve something else. So maybe work on some other issues. That happens to me sometimes. Right, so that definitely happens to me. So if I'm stuck on an issue, I just need to give it some time for, for my brain to process all of that in the background, and after some time I will come up with a solution, and we'll see. I'm not really sure yet if I want to go that route. Okay, easy escape from the regex command mode back to the output mode. We can try to do that. So this sounds like something super easy to implement. I'm gonna even convert it to an issue so we can have a name for the branch and stuff like that. So I really like how easy it is to convert a node to an issue. I think it's pretty cool. Right, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 2, 3, 4. And let me see. So how we're escaping all of that stuff right now? I think we have this thing in a global, right? So essentially, if this thing is bound to one of these, if you are in a global state, what do you usually do? So let me see. So the problem here is super simple, actually. Karog. All right, so I want to be able to escape from one of these pop-ups by pressing backspace. But I'm not sure if it's going to be, if it's going to work well. Not quite sure if it's going to work well. So it's going to depend on what mode we're in. right? It's all gonna depend on what mode we're in. All of that requires like a major refactoring and stuff like that. So which kind of makes me a little bit sad. Let's put some music on. Hope it's not too loud. Doesn't seem to be too loud. All right, so I think it makes sense to start ditching a lot of these things. Right, so for example, going back to here, maybe shouldn't be a global key. Maybe it shouldn't be a global key. It definitely feels like I need some sort of UI framework and I mean, we can always actually make a hack, right? So if it's Duck of Doom, hello, welcome to the stream. If it's a key map is bound to this thing, action, and what's that? Back. Right. We can just match self mode. And if we are in one of those modes, like where it's a CMDs, or regexes, I don't think this is how pattern matching works in Rust, but I'm gonna try it. So what other modes do we have? Yeah, so I might as well actually do something like if self mode is not mode output, right? We set it to the mode output, but that may create a bug. That may definitely create a bug. Excuse me. So we have a. Oh yeah, you also have to return true. Does comma work in match? Probably. So what we're gonna have here, so if I go here, then press here, if I do back, it doesn't work anymore. Yes, it doesn't work anymore because we broke that, so it's not gonna work. It's definitely not gonna work. I want to actually start developing TUI framework and then do re-implement this into application using that TUI framework. That would be actually kind of cool. So, you know, have like a common components and whatnot and just reuse them all the time. Hello SKS08, welcome to the stream. You know what, I think maybe I'm gonna remove this particular part and go to string lists, I suppose. So when we're handling profile, I just need to come up with a good paradigm for all of that. I just don't know. Nothing makes sense to me. What would be a good paradigm here? It's already more or less good paradigm. So what we do here is we have different like rejects things, and if we're pressing, yeah, so this is a rendering of them. Where's the handling? Yeah, there we go. So here's the handling, we handle the keys, and this is essentially where I want to handle the keys. So so if I go inside of the rejects list, it's actually rejects list is actually string. It's actually string list. So, and hello Fernando, hello Haskell, welcome to the stream. So yeah, we have different states, and when we're not editing, if we experience something like key map is bound keystroke action back, all right, self, it's actually in a cell, but oh, it's actually quite cool that I also get the global, so I can set the global mode to mode output. Right, and we'll see how it's gonna work, if it's gonna even work correctly. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, it does compile. Now, if I press R, if I press backspace, it does work, and I can just toggle between them. Yeah, pretty cool. So it's pretty cool. So but now, if you go here, you press backspace, and it goes back. So that's pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool. You know what I want to develop? I want to develop a framework where I could have like interfaces like trait. Trait widget, right? Trait widget, and where I could have layouts and stuff like that, and I could just compose them together, and I can have my own things, and they just automatically works. Something similar maybe to how Qt is implemented. I kind of want to have like a TUI Qt, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, like TUI Qt. And then maybe that will actually streamline the development of CM, because right now developing CM with any sort of paradigm is extremely difficult. Right. So there should be like sort of backbone for the UI stuff, because like it's really difficult. Maybe I should start like a separate project for specifically like a TUI framework based on incurses and whatnot. And then I'm gonna just implement CM using that framework. But there's also other framework that people were recommended to me. So Rust terminal library, right? Something like a terminal library. I forgot what it was. Build terminal user interfaces, and I want to actually develop things myself, to be fair. That sounds interesting. Well, that at least looks interesting. The terminal, I think it was called terminal library itself, supports 4 different backends, Rustbox. So it's actually, yeah, okay, so it's a huge framework, to be fair. I don't really want to use any huge stuff. Yeah. Nah. Bloat. Alright, so anyway, I'm gonna quickly commit whatever we have here. So where is the issue? 2, 3, 4. Hold on. 2, 3, 4. Switch back to output mode on back action. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. So this is one thing that I can do right now. So let me check the Clippy. I think Clippy is not gonna complain. Let me also check FMT, and yeah, everything seems to be more or less okay. Let's create a pull request for this. Today's stream is so unproductive. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think it's one of those days when I don't feel really productive. Alright. So do we have anything else? Like, I want to work on something interesting today. Slow days are okay. Maybe. Reload profile configuration. Sounds interesting. Save line list to file, document application. It's a lot of issues. Actually, not that many issues. There's only 2 pages of issues. I have projects where I have more stuff. I actually have projects where I have more stuff. Pun curses. What's so special about pun curses, and how is it different from N curses? So Rust curses library supporting Unix platforms and Windows. I see. So it's a wrapper around in curses anyway. Okay, it's a wrapper around in curses. I see. The thing that we're using anyway. You know what? I want to do a little bit of experiments, like a little bit of research on how to develop like my own UI. I want to have my own UI thinking. N+curses doesn't work on Windows though. Yeah, but our application doesn't work on Windows either without N+curses, right? So we already use a lot of interesting features that are not compatible with Windows at all, that have nothing to do with the interface, by the way. They usually have with the inter-process communication stuff, right? Because the CM by itself is actually a rather sophisticated thing, because what you need to be able to do is the following. Imagine that you have a script that does something like this, right? Echo, and then you sleep for a single second, and there you go. It doesn't really work. Okay, so yeah. So we have a script that iterates through 1 to 10 and prints the number and sleeps for 1 second. Right, so within the 10 seconds, it will actually print you something like that. So CM works with that perfectly. You see, it collects the output. It also asynchronously lets you modify things. In the meantime, you can actually modify and do things here while it's collecting the output. And trust me, making it work like that is not a fucking easy task. So N+curses is not the most difficult part of CM. One of the difficult parts of CM is actually making it work like that. So yeah, but, well, I mean, I guess right now I actually demonstrated that maybe another difficult part is UI as well, but overall, like, and making it cross-platform, making this behavior cross-platform is actually very difficult. Polling, so yeah, it's kind of like that, but we're not using select here. I think we're literally marking all of the file descriptors non-blocking, and just manually pull them. And this is because I don't have a direct access to the file descriptor that Ncurses using for the input, but I can tell Ncurses, please make that descriptor non-blocking, but I don't really have a direct access to it. So that's why I just use a non-blocking thing. And on top of that, there's a couple of problems with merging std out and std error, because this is another thing that CM does. It merges them together, right? It merges them together so you can, work with them. And it's also not an easy task to make cross-platform. So, all right. So let's actually do a slightly different thing today. I'm gonna rename the stream to custom TUI framework in Rust. So this is gonna be our stream for now, and I'm gonna actually start a small research project, very small research project where I'm gonna just play around with different ideas on how to organize UI stuff, right? On how to organize UI stuff. All right, so how are we gonna call the TUI framework for Rust? I'm gonna call it Rui. It's probably already taken. Great, because it's a very short, and I'm pretty sure any combinations of 3 letters is already taken. Yeah, there we go. I mean, it's such an obvious thing. I'm really sorry that I'm screaming right now. So yeah. Rust GUI, component-based GUI for Rust, and yeah, XUI sounds like a good idea. Yeah. But it sounds like it's supposed to work with X11, right? So, maybe Tsui. I don't really like the names of the project based on Tsoding or something. Oh my god, Jiang. What the hell? What the hell is...
research project needs a research grant.
Thank you so much, Jiang, for the research grant. That's funny. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I don't know what I'm frustrated more in this project, with the Rust or with my code. To be fair, like, I'm usually, if it's written in another language, I'm not really that frustrated with the code base. Anyway, so let's actually do a little bit of research, and maybe that will something interesting, because yeah, I'm kind of stuck, because right now it's just a mess of things. All right, so so Rust terminal console UI RQI. So maybe that's a good name. So let's see if it's taken already. Let's see if it's taken. I'm not gonna call it Hui. Come on, it's a obscene word in Russian language, and this is a Christian channel. Okay. All right. So can I do cargo init or something? I can, apparently. That's actually super cool. All right. Swearing, exactly. Stop fucking swearing on this fucking Christian channel, okay? If you're gonna keep fucking swearing, I'm gonna ban you all. Alright, so what do we have here? I'm gonna enable Ncurses. Where's Ncurses? Oh, there we go. So I have a very wide Ncurses. I don't know why I did that, but... So, and the wide Ncurses is essentially... the wide Ncurses... Jesus fucking Christ, mate! Is there a flag?
Tsoding Hyper.
Tsoding Hyper, thank you so much for 12 months of the subscription. Thank you. And welcome to our epic Wide Club. That's right, we're very wide here. So, yeah, RQ. Maybe I'm gonna call it something else. I don't really like or Q. I want something creative. Wide club, not white club, wide. My pronunciation is not perfect, alright? Is it already? I'm thinking actually. I kind of wanna. So if the framework, if we have a GUI framework called Qt, I wanna call my framework BT. I don't know, for the memes, I suppose. Crates IO. I'm pretty sure it's already taken. So yeah, it's already taken. Everything is already taken. So what it's all about? Oh, it doesn't even exist. Nice. So simple tool for. All right. So okay. So our tool is going to be called BT. Ugly as opposite to cute. Ah. All right. I'm gonna call it like that. Whatever. I think I'm wasting time by thinking about like how to call it. QTPOV. Okay, QTPOV. Alright. Very funny. Yeah. So this is essentially bike shading. Right. So let's not promote bike shading. See more keys and their information, blah blah blah. So let's actually build this entire thing and see how it builds. Friend reminder that this Christian streamer once made me name repository for parsing PSD file ps_dui. Well, it's a pretty good name. So I don't know. What's up, Helix Thor? I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Welcome. Right, so here's the main. And what is downloading? It's downloading in curses or something from scratch? That's probably what it's doing. Version 0.10, no users, last updated 5 years ago. Yeah, classic. Thanks, just took something to eat. Nice. Enjoy your meal. You can name it blessings as opposite to curses. I think somebody already did that. It's downloading some node modules. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's doing. It's downloading some node modules. How am I doing? I'm doing quite well. I think. Thank you. Thank you for asking. What the hell is it doing? Like, seriously, why does it take so long? That's really weird. Man, what the fuck? Huh. Looks like you're pulling Windows Docker container. Yeah. The fuck? I just edited in curses or something. Downloading 3 crates. Oh, it was just updating crates IO. I see. Alright, it was just, you know, updating the index and stuff. Okay. I don't know why I didn't realize that, but yeah. It was just updating the index, everyone. Nothing special. Alright, so I suppose I can do something like using curses, right? And that will also compile. So this is not what I wanted. I wanted to just do build. And yeah, so it seems to be working. It seems to be twerking. Uwu starts twerking. Alright, so struct, and I don't really want to have a struct. I want to have a trait, right? And I want to have a trait called widget. And you know what I noticed interesting about the widgets that we have in CM is that they usually have two methods, right? They usually have 2 methods. The first method they have is a render, which accepts the the rectangle within which you want to render it, right? And that's pretty much it. And another one is going to be, it's called handle key, but I think I want to actually make it a little bit more abstract, and I want to call it handle event, right? And we're going to have an event that a widget will supposed to handle here, right? So this is going to be the idea. So we'll also have to define such types as rect and event, right? And I think event could be some sort of enumeration, right? So we'll see how to define that. Rect is actually pretty straightforward. It's basically x, y, w, w and h. There we go. An event, well, could be different. It could be keystroke, right? So maybe resize, window resize, but I don't know. It's kind of strange. All right, so we're gonna actually keep the widgets like that. So we have a bunch of we have an interface for the widgets, and another thing I want to have a structure called layout, right? Some structure called layout. Maybe we're gonna have like a horizontal layout or whatnot. We need a point and size structs. Maybe I don't know yet. So a layout is gonna actually be like a bunch of widgets, and I don't know how exactly I can do that. Can I just do something like that? I think I have to do it like this, right? I think. Right. And essentially, I will have to... Why everyone is twerking? By the way, hello Panapudi, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Layout, right? So essentially, oh, that's actually very funny. You know what? The widget, the layout itself is a widget. Yes. So it's gonna have all of these methods as well there, right? And what it essentially does, when you implement those methods, it propagates them for each individual internal widgets. That's what it's gonna do. I really want to intellectually masturbate on this entire idea and stuff like that, and maybe we can come up with something interesting. I really like that. So, and of course, I forgot a very important thing. It should accept self here and mutable self, but I'm not really sure if I want to forbid the render to modify itself. So I'm not quite sure about it. We'll see. So and what I want to do here, I want to do for widget in widgets iterate. So I think it has to be iter. Intellectually masturbate is my new favorite phrase. Well, I use that phrase quite often, and when I say intellectually masturbate, what I usually mean is building, pretty abstractions and hierarchies and flying in a world of castles and unicorns and stuff like that, thinking that that will ever be useful, and it ends up not being useful ever. So yeah. So that's kind of what I want to do right now for some reason, because I've been writing pragmatic, down-to-earth, hacky code for a couple of months already, and I'm kind of tired of it. Like, I want something abstract, something mathematical, something, the thing that OOP people like and functional programmers like, and just something like that. I kind of miss it, to be fair, and I want to make a framework. Make a framework or something. I don't know. I'm kind of in the mood of doing that today. So yeah, and essentially what layout does, maybe this one is going to be like a horizontal layout. Horizontal layout. So horizontal is a big word. I'm going to call it H layout. So you are intellectually horny. Yes, I am intellectually horny. So thank you for asking. Okay, so the next thing, we're gonna iterate this thing in widgets iter. There we go. And we're gonna handle event. what kind of event, we're gonna actually put it there. So is the event supposed to be consumable because we're moving it inside? Well, we'll see. HBox, it actually sounds good, like a good idea. Let's actually call it HBox, I like that. H layout, HBox, so it's gonna be HBox. There we go. Alright, I wonder if it's gonna work, because I never worked with like polymorphism in Rust, so I'm not quite sure if it's gonna work or not, but we can try to compile that, and as chat, you know what they say, if it compiles, it works, exactly. If it compiles, it works. Alright, hooks, what do we have here? And it has to be actually self. I also almost forgot about that. Pepper Pains. If it compiles, it works. If it compiles, it works. There we go. Widget. Okay, it has to be self. Starts working. Haha. So, what do we have here? Okay, doesn't have a size known at compile time. Does it have to be impl then? Impl trait not allowed outside of functions and inherit method. Do I have to do something like box din then? I think so, yes, I think I actually did it. That's actually pretty cool. So, yeah, alright. That's very interesting. So we can pass all of that by a reference. It might need in the book. Yeah, okay, I already got it. I kind of like already developed an intuition on how to work with these kind of things in Rust, so yeah. Fuck, why doing... Exactly! I'm asking that question myself every day. Why do I know that? Alright. Need more cows. XQC cow? XQC cow. Alright, and what do we have here? So... No, it's not XQ cow, it's XQC cow. Alright, so it has to be XQC cow. Alright. What the fuck doesn't work? Excuse me. Oh, Ethermute, thank you so much. Thank you, chat. Thank you, I really appreciate that. And it fucking works. Oh shit, I'm doing polymorphism. How about that? How about that? Alright, so this is the first widget that we ever gonna have. What's gonna be another widget? So let's actually introduce another widget. I think the God Cooder, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So I think it's gonna be like a list, maybe item list. How about that? You know, the good old item list. So how do you do that? So it's T, and can I make T something that is toString, right? I think I should be able to. I forgot how to do that. Or maybe you have to do like... I don't fucking remember, to be fair. Wait, shouldn't text be the first widget? Text. What should it do? Is it like a label? What exactly is the text widget? I'm not quite sure. So I can define text widget. Okay, so let's actually do that. So, and it's gonna contain a text, and it's gonna hold this string. And how we're gonna implement that? We're gonna do widget for text. Wouldn't you want to render text or something on the screen? Yeah, okay. The problem is that in the console everything is a text. So, well, I get what you mean. So it's gonna be sort of like a label in Qt, I suppose, because in Qt there is a such thing as QLabel. I think, yeah. What's this magic Dean word? As far as I know, it basically like enables polymorphism over the interfaces. Right, so this type is sort of like the pointer to something that implements this interface, but we don't know the size of it. Right, but when we wrap it into the box, that actually makes it a pointer. So, and when you call different methods of this like sort of reference pointer or thing, it just actually dispatch these things. I think we can actually try to Google it up. Din versus impl. So, all right. So here's a key label class, and it's essentially just a text. But these days it can also display images, but I mean it doesn't count. I think it contains pointer to vtable and pointer to the object. Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense, I suppose. Din blah blah blah. Din impl and trait object thrust. Yeah. So, and if you actually prefix it with impl, you're supposed to know the you're supposed to know the size of this object, I suppose, right? It compiles fine, and there is no reference here. Impl makes the compiler determine the type at compile time. Okay. So din is when we don't know the type, we know the type at runtime, and impl is when we know the type at compile time. I think I got it. Did I get it? Chat. Am I a god cooder who got the rust? So din is for when the type is known only at runtime, and impl is only when the type is known at compile time. Fucking god cooder. I knew that. I fucking knew that. So yeah. And I didn't even read any books about Rust, by the way, so I just programmed in Haskell for too long, so now I instantly internalize any weird idea that I see in the languages. So I sort of like just see this idea and oh, okay, so that makes sense, because I've seen worse. So yeah. Cheers, by the way. All right. So what we need to implement here, you know what? I don't want to think about what do I need to implement that. Let's let the compiler do the work, right? I'm gonna just define this thing, and let's ask the compiler, Mr. Compiler, what do I have to implement here? And yeah, it actually tells us what we have to implement. We have to implement this thing. Yeah. There we go. And another thing is gonna be this thing. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. So we say that vec impl widget must work. I think it shouldn't, because you not necessarily will know the type at compile time there. So okay, this entire thing compiles. We can actually see. I wonder if you can do that. So if I gonna define let vec din widget, right? So will that work? So, and also probably have to, you know, initialize that. So I have to do vec new, right? Let's see if it's gonna compile. So okay, so it has to be box. I see. But if I change it to impl, impl trait is not allowed outside the function and inherited. Okay, so I see. So yeah, I see what you mean. So since it's not inside of a function, you won't be able to do that, because there is no way to infer this type if it's not in the function. I see. That I think makes sense. Cool. How can we know the size at compile time? Okay, so imagine that you have a function f that accepts impl widget. Let's say call it widget. And we're gonna try to call it with an instance of, for example, hbox. Right, so I'm gonna create. I'm not sure if I can easily create hbox. Right, so let's quickly create hbox. So hbox, and I will have to do widgets, right? And it's gonna be vec new, right? And then I pass hbox there. And is it gonna compile? So widgets, it does compile. There we go. So this is how we know the type at compile time. We have a specific type, and we pass that specific type to a function that accepts abstract type. You see what I mean here? You see what I mean? So compiler knows the type of this variable. We pass it to function, so it can generate a new instance of this function that works with this type. So I wonder, like, if we had another one. So here's the text. Oh, we can even create a text. So let's do text, and it's going to be a text. And can I do something like hello to string? There we go. F text. Will that work as well? It will. So you see, I suspect that this works similarly to function overloading in C++. So for each individual type, it will generate like a new instance of a function, right? So that's my prediction. Yeah, thanks. So okay, you're welcome. And what's funny is that if you have something like din inside of a box, right? And I think if you do something like box new, I'm not sure if it's gonna work. You probably have to do that a little bit like differently, but I think it will, because we're sort of moving it inside of a box, maybe. Yeah, so in this particular case, it won't generate separate like instances of the functions or separate implementations, because there is only one that accesses all of that by the pointer. So yeah, that's my understanding of the din versus impl, but I'm not. Yeah, impl is like a contract. Yeah. Impl is more like a contract, and din is more like a, you know, interface, like in a Java style, I think. Yeah. This is how I understand it. But again, I'm not an active Rust developer, and I never read any Rust books or any like Rust documentation. All of my knowledge is just by picking random, you know, random pieces on the internet and trying things. So, and as a matter of fact, I learned difference between impl and din today, right on this stream. Like before, I didn't know the difference. I just make a lot of assumptions on how it's implemented. Box flattens the type to a reference for all objects implemented the trait. Okay, cool. That's actually cool. How can you break your example? Why do I need to break it? I don't understand. All right, so I may be actually not understanding like small details, but I think my intuition is generally more or less correct, and I think I can get by with my intuition while implementing these frameworks. This framework, I mean. All right, so yeah, there we go. So we need to implement the rendering of the text. So do we want to handle any events in the text? I actually don't think so. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just ignore any events that we receive here. So another thing is we need to render the text. How are we going to render it? So we're going to move rect y as i32, rect x as i32, and there is a catch. I wonder if we want to be able to wrap around. So maybe we won't, and maybe the you know, ability to wrap around is going to be one of the options. Wrap, and it's going to be a boolean, but it will require additional implementation. So I'm going to put it to do here that to do text does not support wrapping around. So we'll also have a here. All right. So and then I actually need to. Oh, we also need to like handle Unicode properly. You know, the code that I developed with Unicode width and stuff like that. Is that Vim? Yes, it is Vim. Thank you very much. So is we supposed to have it swapped? Yes, because the first argument is rows and the second one is columns. The notation here is not x and y, it's rows and columns, like in mathematical matrices, right? In a matrix, the shape of the matrix is usually denoted as rows, which is y, and columns, which is x. So that's why it's swapped. So it's not a mistake. We can even take a look at the definition of incursus move. So it's kind of weird. Move? Is it called move? Is it not MV? Oh, well, they do use notation of Y and X, but it is swapped. And the reason why it is swapped is probably because it's rows and columns. But yeah, you get the idea. That always fucked me up in linear algebra class. It took for my brain a lot of practice and time to actually, you know, control when to think in row column mode and XY mode. Like seriously, in my brain, I have two separate modes, row column mode and XY mode. And I constantly switch between these modes to actually not confuse myself. And that took shit ton of practice. Oh my god, it actually took more time than I would like to. But now I have these paths in the brain built, so I can actually use them quite easily. So yeah. And I actually developed over time a lot of, you know, pretty close connections between these two modes because I was switching between so often. So they kind of like the same mode for me, but still kind of different. It's kind of difficult to explain. But yeah. All right. So what we need to do here, we actually need to add str, and we need to just render this thing. So it's going to be self text, but on top of that, I want to shrink this thing accordingly. So how is it called? I think I need to use get. So I have to go to docs.rs and whatnot. Docs.rs and so it's going to be a string. It's going to be a string. So it's something get, I think. Or can I just use something like rect width? I think I should be able to. Yeah, I think I should be able to. So is not found. So move is not part of the I thought it's called move. So what do I use in incursus? Do I use MV? Yes, I do use MV, so what the fuck? And I use incursus. So I wonder if you could import tDisplay widget, and instead of storing the string in a struct, you can just take the output of FMT. I could, but we just need to implement something first, something that is working. So we also don't have add str. So we're gonna improve the, you know, the interfaces and stuff like that over time. Don't worry about it. So right, we're doing like a first pass of this entire thing. So it's str. So might as well actually do something. Oh, it works. What the fuck? It fucking works. I didn't expect that actually. What the hell? All right. Okay, so, and I think that is it. I think. I do think so. So, how can we implement all of that? So I'm gonna do hbox. Hbox. Let's call it UI. So UI is gonna consist of hbox, where widgets is vec like this, right? It's a vec, and then we can have a text. And I wonder if I can have like text defined like this. So we're gonna have hello world foo bar. I have a feeling that maybe not. So maybe for now, yeah, I'll have to do this, something like this. So it's gonna be text. There we go. Alright, so, and this is how we defined UI, and after that we should be able to do UI render on the whole screen. So I need some sort of a helper, screen rect, screen rect, that basically renders the whole rectangle, like returns the rectangle and stuff. So what's going to be here is going to be rect, and wait a second, I think you didn't have to do it like that. So, and what we're gonna have here is 0, 0, width and height. And how do we get width and height? I think it's get max yx. Get max yx and get. Yeah, this is how we're gonna do that. So this thing has to be std screen, and then these are pointers. These things are supposed to be pointers, by the way. I don't know why they're not. Yeah, so we're gonna have width and height. I don't know if okay, so I'm gonna make them 0. So this one is going to be height, and this one is going to be width, and then we're going to just return that. What's a TUI? It's a text user interface. You know how GUI is a graphical user interface? TUI is a text user interface, right? A TUI application looks like this, right? So it's not a batch console application. It's more of an interactive thing, right? So terminal, well, you can call it terminal as well, why not? So I don't think it matters. The idea behind these two names is the same anyway. When we say TUI, regardless of what we mean, whether it's text or terminal there, we convey the same idea anyway. So I don't think the exact translation of this abbreviation matters, because when we say TUI, we just mean these things, so it doesn't matter, like, seriously, whether it's a text or terminal. Anyway, alright, so this is how we do all of that. This gets the whole screen, and we essentially render our UI on a huge screen, but unfortunately, the rendering, I think, is not implemented properly here. So yeah, I'm gonna actually do here, no, not here, but actually here. There we go. So let's see how it's going to react to that. So yeah, I have to actually specify explicitly these kind of things, but not these kind of things. Alright, so this doesn't work. This is because I have to actually do equals. So do we have anything else? Yeah, I have to put text here, unfortunately. I have to put text here, and yeah, this thing has to be imported from here, and also std screen, so all of these things need to be imported. Alright, so unreachable expression, yes, it is unreachable, that is 100% true. Found reference integer, so I have to explicitly say that those things are i32. Okay. It has to be mutable. Oh, okay, that makes sense, because we return these things from there. Alright, so, and it has to be usize. Okay. Let's convert them to usize. Excuse me? Oh, if I'm gonna convert them, I'll have to do it like that. So to be fair, maybe it would be way easier for me. Maybe it would be way easier for me to do toString, like this. And I also need to wrap all of that into boxes. Okay, welcome to Rust. So that's actually super interesting. And you'll have to do that okay, I see what is going on here. I'll have to do that every time I wanna sort of have like a indirection. Oh boy. So I'm afraid that we can run into some sort of like a linked list problem. So, but so far I don't think it's gonna be that much of a problem, yeah. So, oh yeah, it has to be something like this. So unused variable, alright, so do we have anything else here? Cannot borrow as mutable, because this thing is not mutable, I see. There we go. You could probably make helper function for those, for which? Oh, you mean add? But I want to actually define them declaratively during the initialization of the variable. You see what I mean here? You see what I mean? But what you mean is basically a function, yeah, function that constructs the box. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. So, you know, a function that is literally called text, right? And it takes the text string and returns you a box of text. You know, it literally can return you a dynamic widget here, because why not? And essentially, we can just take this entire thing, and there we go. I can even do something like this, right? And you know what? I think it would be even cooler to do something like this. So yeah, because then I would be able to do the following stuff. And then boom, 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 boom. Ha! Ha! Isn't that epic? Isn't that epic? So, yeah, so, you know, something like this, maybe? Is it gonna work? So, expected one, yeah, so I also have to put the prefix here. Yeah, probably. So that's what you meant, Jiyoung, right? That's what you meant, I suppose. I think that's what you meant. Okay, cool. But the problem is that it's not gonna work at all because we did not initialize the incursus. So init scr. I think this is how we do that. Init scr. And to be fair, I'm kind of tired of imported everything. Let's actually put a star here. So we initialized everything. And then I forgot what we have to do. I think we have to put end win here. There we go. We have to put end win. All right. And here I'm going to do get ch to wait until the user actually presses anything. So we have some time to see what's going on. Okay, let's do cargo run. And it crashed. Environment variable to display backtrace. Panicked, not implemented. Okay, I see. I see. And it also killed my entire thing here. So here's the problem. We have a very similar situation as with CM. So if the N+1 application crashes, it does not finalize the state of the terminal. And we solve that in CM. Let's actually port the solution from CM, because I think it's going to be instantly useful. The solution is super straightforward. So you set a hook, right? You set a hook for the panic, and when panic occurs, we essentially just finalize the terminal, during the panic. Not sure if it makes sense, but let's give it a try. So we have set hook, take hook, and to have them available, we'll need to import these things. All right. So, and let's put this thing here, and boom, and it works. So now, if I try to run this entire thing, it crashes, right? But it doesn't fuck up the terminal, which is great, which is absolutely great. Is that hook something like deferring? No, it is not. It is not. So it's closer to add exit. Yeah. So Jiyoung, you're right. It's closer to add exit. Because even though there is no like exceptions in Rust, there are panics that also unwind the stack, and you can actually catch them, and this is like just a mechanism for doing that. All right. So all right. And yeah, so now nothing fucks up anything. But the problem is that we have unimplemented stuff, right? So not yet implemented the line 25. So this is an edge box. It's a horizontal box. So what essentially it should do, it should take this rectangle. It should take this rectangle and split that rectangle into end parts, the amount of widgets. Let's see how we're going to do that. So if it's even possible, because we're working with a very discrete points, we're literally working with characters, right? And it's quite unclear if it will be possible to split it into the amount of widgets we have. So maybe some of the widgets won't have enough space to do anything. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. So we're gonna have n, and n is the amount of widgets. Right? It's gonna be the literal length of this thing. So since it's a horizontal one, I'm gonna take a rect width and divide it by n, and this is gonna be the size, the width of the single widget. So something like this. The width of the single widget. But do we wanna actually? You know what I just got? I got a pretty cool idea. I think all of these calculations has to be done in floats. So, and then they can be converted to integers during the rendering. So they all of the layouting calculations are going to be in floats. But when it's time to actually render with the specific discrete things, we're gonna floor them or round them or do something with them, and I think it will produce more like pleasant results. What do you guys think? I think it's a cool idea. So it's gonna be as float, and this shit is also, well, is it float? Is it F32? Yeah, it's F32 as F32. There we go. So we convert both of these things to floats, and this is our width. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do iteration in 0 to n, so I'm gonna basically perform n iterations. You can also adjust semi-graphics using the floats. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I should even use floats in the rectangle. And only when you are about to call low-level ncurses functions, only then you will decide how they're going to be transformed into integers and whatnot. But all of the layouting restructuring is going to happen in floats. What do you guys think? Is that a cool idea? Because it will simplify the code, because you won't have to cast too much, right? It's actually a pretty interesting idea. Let's give it a try. But of course, here we'll have to do some things like float. Why I keep calling it float? I'm really sorry. So it has to be F32. All right. So yeah. So it has to be F32. God damn! I'm enjoying this. What the fuck? It's kind of weird. Like, for the longest time, I was trying to be this, you know, super pragmatic programmer that gets shit done, that I forgot how enjoyable it is to just do intellectual masturbation once in a while. I forgot how enjoyable it is. Maybe it's kind of dangerous to be like a pragmatic, you know, programmer all the time. Sometimes it's just, you know, sometimes you just gonna have to give yourself some slack and just, you know, enjoy the act of programming itself, just building some structure and stuff like that. I don't know. Accidental erections. Yeah, having fun is fun. Yeah, I forgot how having fun is fun. Anyways, so I'm sorry for the tangent. Let's continue. So since this is a float already, it doesn't really matter. So then I'm gonna do a couple of iterations here. Some recreational programming. Yeah, I'm actually doing recreational programming right now. And to be fair, so does it have to be I? Yeah, I think it has to be I. So it's gonna be widgets I. And so what we do here, we're gonna call a render for this specific widget, and rectangle, rect, is gonna be rect x plus that width multiplied by I as f32. Right. So basically we're stepping. So x is going to be modifying. The y is going to be the same. The y is going to be the same, that's for sure. Because what we're doing here, like we have a big like box here, right? We have a big box, and what we're doing here, we're just dividing that box into like even things, like horizontally. Nothing special actually. So, and y is going to be the same. The width is going to be that width that we defined here. I think I'm going to call it widget w, just to emphasize that that's what I want to have here. And the height is going to be the same, right? The height is going to stay the same. And there we go. I think we did that, chat. I think we did the chat, and it doesn't compile. Oh my god, I'm so happy. All right, so so this thing has to be x, this thing has to be x, this thing has to be y, this is a width, this is a height, and so this is a self widgets, and this one also has to be self widgets. I see. widget W. There we go. So I'm just going through the compilation errors, nothing special. No implementation. Usize. Okay, I32. There we go. We're almost there, chat. We're almost there. Mismatched type. Really? So, because you expect a reference. Okay, sure. I'm okay with that. String cannot be... Cannot be indexed by... Okay, I see. So, and this is where we have to actually do the flooring or rounding. Does Rust implement any like round or floor things? It's kind of an interesting question. I think I'm gonna just floor. So let me go here somewhere. It's gonna be floor. It's literally F32 floor. I see. Floor. Yeah. Is it a method of F32? I'm not quite sure. It's a method. Alright, so that means I should be able to just literally do floor, but it still returns F32, so that means later I'll have to change it to usize. There we go. So, and this one has to be this. Oh shit, it compiled even without any warnings. The most satisfying thing ever on planet Earth, when the Rust compiles without any warnings. Oh my god, it's absolutely beautiful. Alright, it still breaks because byte index 23 is out of the bounds of hello. Nice. Probably because I should have used get then instead of this thing. So I think I have to use get, right? So, and get, if I remember correctly, returns option, right? It returns option, and this is str. And I think for an option, in case of an option, I need to be able to unwrap. So unwrap or self-text like this. Is it gonna work? Oh shit, I know Rust actually. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Alright, so, and there we go. Chat, do you see that shit? Oh shit, okay, it broke. But I know why it broke, but let me quickly fix that. So essentially what I want to do here is going to be let... so is it going to be mutable x? But I'm not quite sure. So... but how do we organize that? So it's going to be loop, right? And we have x. Let's call it key. And here, if key is equal to q as I32, then we're going to break out of that loop. So that's essentially what we're going to have here. And otherwise, we just render everything. So let me see if it's going to work or not. And there we go. And it doesn't work for some reason. Excuse me. This is because I need to swap this entire stuff. Sorry. There we go. So now... Oh shit. Okay, so we also need to clean everything up. Let me actually fix that. I forgot about that. How do we clean everything up? I don't remember. Do we even clean anything? In CM, clear. So in a render section, when I'm about to render section, it's called erase. I see, it's called erase. So before rendering anything, I do erase. Jesus Christ, MC2, thank you so much for 69 bits. If you had to program in a single language for the rest of your lives, which one would that be? C, because having C, I can implement the rest of the languages. So yeah, it's not even a joke. Like imagine that I have to program in C, right? And I have a PHP code and I don't have a PHP interpreter. I will just implement the PHP interpreter for that specific code. So I'm not going to implement the full PHP interpreter. I'm going to implement enough PHP interpreter to run this code. And that's it. So It's actually very easy question. I don't understand why people ask this question. They probably think that it's a tricky question. You have to choose one language. I mean, I can implement languages. Like, dude, come on. It's a joke. All right. So there we go. Chat. You want to see something cool? Look at that. Look at that. It automatically relayouts everything. Automatically on resize. And that took like an hour or so. Like, I mean, you can just have a layouting and shit. And yeah, so you just define these things declaratively. You just define this thing declaratively and they fucking work. The fuck? Alright. Alright, that's very interesting and very enjoyable. So maybe we want to actually define now VBox. VBox. Alright, so let's define VBox. And it's gonna be this definition of VBox is gonna be similar to HBox. So essentially it's gonna be like widgets. And we're gonna simply implement widget for VBox. Right. And let's just ask the compiler to tell us what we need to implement. We need to implement the renderer, and we need to implement the handle event. We're not even handling events yet, by the way, so we'll have to implement that as well at some point. So yeah, an implementation of the VBox is sort of similar to HBox, right? Sort of similar to HBox. Except it's actually horizontal, right? Instead of W, we're gonna have H here, right? So this is H, and X is gonna stay the same, by the way, but Y is gonna be different, right? So this is H, this is a rect W, but that one is gonna be widget H. There we go. So I think I forgot to compile everything, to copy paste the rest of the stuff that is needed for VBox. VBox, there we go, and there we go. Is it gonna, oh shit, I think I actually put too much stuff. There we go. All right, so, and here we don't do anything, we just ignore everything, and let's try to compile this entire thing. There we go. So what I want to do here now, I want to actually add, yeah, so we're gonna have a vertical boxes here, right? We have vertical boxes, and here we're gonna have horizontal boxes. HBox widgets vec1, and we're gonna actually have several of these things. Let's say we're gonna have 3 of them every time, and then I'm gonna close this entire thing. So can I quickly actually transform this thing? Wait a second, I have an idea. I'm gonna record the macro super quick. So F3, search for the text, go back, HBox, widget, vec, right? So then I take this thing, boom, boom, then I'm gonna close that, then I'm gonna close that. And I think the macro is ready. All right, there we go. So I just recorded the macro and, you know, reproduced that several times. And now if I try to compile that, this doesn't work. Because these things has to be, okay, we also need to wrap everything here in a box, which means that we need to create another Ziyang style helper. So it's going to be HBox, which essentially accepts a vector of widgets, right? So it's going to be widgets, it's a vec din widget, and it's going to return box din widget. There we go. And I'm going to just take this entire thing. Right, so this is widgets, and then we do box new. So, and in here, I didn't ask for this job. Yeah. Well, you are the inventor of the technique, so yeah, I'm sorry. So now it is Jiang style helpers. There we go. Boom. So I think we need to like a similar thing for V-Box thingy. So I'm gonna do the following thing. I'm gonna query replace H-Box and V-Box. And look at that. There's a cool thing about Emacs is that it doesn't care about the case, right? So it's a case independent replacement. So, and it's gonna work for both of them. Oh fuck, it didn't really work well. Well, it's supposed to actually capitalize this thing, but it didn't. So it's kind of dumb, but yeah, whatever. I wonder if you can do something like this. So it's going to be VBox, and this is a VBox. I'm going to remove that stuff, and this is the declarative definition of some UI interface, right? A declarative definition, and it doesn't compile yet again because it doesn't have a size known and compile. Really? Oh, because all of these things has to be boxes, I see. All of these things has to be boxes. You know what I like about Rust? Is that all of these things, they have move semantic, right? So by passing this vector there, we're not copying it, we're actually moving it inside of it, then it gets moved inside of these things, and then it moves back outside of the function. So there's no copying here anywhere. Like it just moves structures around. And on top of that, the borrow checker actually checks whether you're trying to use something that is already moved. So this is the part that I kind of like about Rust, but yeah. All right, so all right, let's try to run it. There we go. We have a grid. So we implemented VBox and HBox, right? And we combined them together, and now we have a grid that can, yeah, so it's pretty cool. Isn't it cool? What if there is not enough space for this? And this is why I decided to use floats. So essentially, they're gonna overlap with each other. So, and I think if I didn't use floats for this kind of stuff, it would probably break, right? But overall, totally grid back. Yeah, it's essentially grid back if you think about it. Also, we can implement something like in text, like we can implement alignment for the text, different sort of alignments, right? Like align center vertically, center horizontally, and we can make all of these labels to be centered within this cell that is allocated to it by the grid. So is that something interesting to implement? I think it sounds like something interesting to implement, to be fair. So to be fair, we have not committed for quite some time. Maybe we haven't committed ever, to be fair. So let's maybe commit. Let's maybe do committee, and maybe then we're gonna do a pushy. But yeah, so it actually sort of separates concerns of different things. Something that I wanted to have for quite some time. So I really like that. I really like that separation of concern. Yeah, I need to update. I want to update it after I create a repo for this thing. So what's going to be the license? The license is going to be MIT. There we go. This is going to be MIT license. Let's copy paste it. Right. So let's put it like that. So the year is going to be 2020. So I was told by Out9 that I'm not supposed to put copyright sign here, so I'm not going to do that. There we go. All right. So this is a license. I also want to have README. So QUI, simple TUI framework in Rust, inspired by Qt. It is true, actually. It's heavily inspired by Qt. I don't know why, but I kind of like the Qt approach. And I suspect maybe it has some sort of like a nostalgia reason, because I learned Qt when I was relatively young, so maybe that's why. But you know the developer of Serenity OS, right? So Andreas Kling. His like UI library is also heavily inspired by Qt, and yeah, so I kind of understand him. That's what I want to say. It's kind of like this kind of paradigm that Qt put together. It's kind of addictive. It kind of makes sense, and every time you develop like a GUI framework or UI framework, you want to follow that paradigm for some reason. So I completely understand him. All right. So quick start, I don't know if we need any sort of quick start. I kind of want to separate examples and things. What is TUI? TUI stands for Textual UI Interface or Terminal UI Interface. It's a kind of UI that HTOP, for example, has, right? So I hope I didn't actually leak anything important. So yeah. So let me double check. I don't think I have anything super important. Yeah, okay, so everything seems to be game. Alright, so this is what we have here, and I'm ready to do a committee. I'm gonna do ready, set, go. Just the OnlyFans D password. Yes, thank you so much for letting me know. All right, so so Rust console UI. All right, and in README, I'm gonna grab this description. I'm gonna make it public. There we go. I'm gonna grab this thing, and because it was fun, but also I found it a little difficult to mix with standard C++ as a beginner, as they're using QString and their own events. Well, yeah, they have a severe case of AIDS, and by AIDS I mean my library that I developed as a replacement for STD. So, so a lot of C++ developers like have a thing about not using standard library. I don't know what's up with that, but it's kind of strange. Like, I guess like C++ is so old, a lot of people got tired of C++ standard library and they're trying to come up with their own thing. Is there a meme channel in the Discord server? Yes, it's called Politics. Alright, so let's actually push that. So did I create the origin? So I forgot how to add origin. Origin. There we go. There we go. And I'm ready to do a pushy. Chat, are you ready for a little bit of a pushy? There we go. I'm gonna refresh it, and this thing is available for everyone. Go ahead. Start. Right, and we need to also update our project. Today we are doing a little research on developing our own TUI terminal user interface framework in Rust and in curses. The source code is available right here. There we go. So it is available right here, right now. Right here, right now. Okay, so and you know what I want to do next? I want to have some sort of interesting alignment. Are you gonna use this TUI framework for CM later? If it turns out good, I will. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. If it doesn't turn out good, I probably won't. But yeah. because I got tired with the state of UI in CM, and there's no like an easy way to refactor that because I have not developed a paradigm in my head on how to do TUI, right? So I don't have a particularly good paradigm to facilitate all of that. And what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to experiment separately from CM, just play with concepts and stuff like that to develop that paradigm in my head, and then that framework can be reused in CM. Does it make any sense? It's kind of weird to explain, but I tried. Actually, it would be interesting to see middle project made with different language to see how the performance and style differs. Maybe. But I think like it would be interesting in the context of a concise YouTube video that summarizes the result. But it's not interesting in terms of like Twitch series, like Twitch stream series, because it's quite tedious. So yeah, just a second. I dropped my cup, my bottle cup. All right. So, and you know what I want to do with this thing? I want to extract these two examples. Did you have a look at Git GUI? It's a Git TUI written in Rust. No, I haven't looked at it. Thank you. I don't really have any plans to look into that because I'm perfectly satisfied with my Git right now. My Git works perfectly well for me. So, and until it breaks, I don't have any plans to look for anything else. I'm sorry. All right. So what I want to implement here, I want to actually align horizontally. Align horizontally. So, and it's going to be a separate type called align. So it's going to be enum align, and we're going to have things like left, center, right. There we go. And then we're gonna have align. I don't really like how horizontally and vertically are such long words. So I'm gonna call them edge align. This is such a dumb name. Align. Center is supposed to be with E. Is that a British thing? Wait a second. Center versus cent. Is that a British thing? Okay, I guess it's a British thing. Okay, we're gonna use a British then, sure. It's not just British. It's not just British. It's the correct one. Right. Align left, align top. You think I can just have like one? Yeah. Personally, I'm Russian. Like I don't care. Like I can use whatever you guys say. Oh, Wasabi9. Out9. I still don't know how to correctly pronounce your nickname. Oh my god. So I'm gonna call you Out9 then. Hello. We actually developed a pretty cool thing. We actually developed a pretty epic fucking thing. You wanna see it? I'm gonna show you. We're developing actually like a UI framework in Rust from scratch with an intent to use it in CM in the future. So, and we implemented like a layouting system and a shit. I think it's pretty cool. So it's gonna be cargo around. So we developed a grid. So yeah. Can your React do that? It's kind of inspired by Qt, but yeah, and it has like a declarative description. So you declaratively describe this UI like that, and it just works. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And the source code is available on GitHub if you're interested in looking into that. So yeah, how would you objectively measure software quality? Objectively measure software quality? I don't know, depends on your goal, right? What are you trying to maximize, right, with this software? right? You have a software, you use it in your business, and what you're trying to maximize in your business, right? And based on that, you can come up with the quality criteria. And I think depending on the goal of the business or goal of the development in general, you can define different sort of criteria of quality, I suppose. All right. So let me see. So we're gonna start developing the thing. Doesn't support wrapping around. I'm gonna just do like a horizontal alignment for now. I'm not sure if I want to do alignment like a single thing, like top or something. I'm gonna just do. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. So we'll still have to have things like H-align. Because software makes a lot of money, it's safe to say it's high quality. I guess depends on the criteria of quality. If your criteria of quality actually is about money, then yes. So yeah. But keep in mind that the software that breaks way too much does not really make that much money. So even if your criteria is software that makes money, right, maybe there is a little bit of a truth to that. It depends. I mean, it's a very sophisticated. Like, I think measuring the quality of software is actually very difficult. So I don't know. All right. So we're gonna have H-align, and it's gonna be a separate type. So here's the H-align. Okay, so in here we have to do something. So H-align is going to be H-align is left. There we go. H-align is left. Let's go through the other things here. Center, right. Right, so it seems to be working. Now we need to handle all of that, right? So we're gonna match self H-align, right? And if it's I keep opening case H-align. And also another problem is, like, I'm currently thinking about this framework, so it's kind of difficult for me to switch the context and start thinking about different ideas of measuring quality of software. I really apologize for that. So yeah. So I really want to kind of finish it because I like really enjoying it, enjoying making this thing. I think it's pretty cool. Like, it's pretty cool to, you know, intellectually masturbate once in a while. So yeah. Oh, fuck, what the fuck is going on? It's pretty cool to intellectually masturbate once in a while. So here we have a problem. Expected. Okay, it's kind of interesting. So apparently you cannot just to do. Wait a second. Why does it expect? Oh shit. I have a suspicion that Tsoding is part Canadian. No. If I was a part Canadian, I would move to Canada a long time ago. Yeah. Yes, I am. Why are you saying that? Is it because of my accent or something? I don't know. Well, I've been watching a lot of. I keep apologizing. Ah, Jesus Christ. That's what you mean. I especially like Dennis because he's like a authentic Canadian. He's always like, "Fuck you, I'm sorry, but fuck you." So he's like that all the time. So I'm very sorry for being an asshole, but fuck you. Go fuck yourself. I'm really sorry. So it's so funny every time. He is like that all the time, so which is actually hilarious, I think. Yeah. How can I ignore the result of the function? Does anybody know? Can I do void? So I don't really know. I don't program in Rust. Missing semicolon. Yes, it says semicolon. Semicolon. All right. So we have that Shangaise. Yeah, so everything seems to be working, everything seems to be working. So now, what we can try to do we have default arguments in functions? Can I have something like, you think you can use wildcards? I already kind of solved it by just using semicolons, so I can try, but let's think about the default arguments. H-align. So it's going to be something like H-align. And can I do something like H-align left, right? And just use it like that. Is it possible in 2020 to do that? Out9 says no, but I'm going to try it anyway. Yes, it is true. It is not possible to have something like that. Don't we have at all any optional capabilities, please? Optional argument, please tell me that we have something. Optional arguments and okay. Default arguments are, yeah, it's default arguments. I'm sorry, default arguments. All right. All right. I mean, sure. I can do it like that then, but that means I'll have to modify each individual thing here. But it's not particularly convenient, you know. You know what? I'm gonna do the following thing. I'm gonna use a little bit of Emacs magic. Just a second. Emacs magic is in progress. There we go. H-align. You can use optional H-align. Yeah, I can, but I still have to modify existing text calls. Like, I still have to modify the stuff. No, implementing default won't work. Yeah, so it's kind of... You can do that, but it's kind of still doesn't solve anything, unfortunately. You can basically have different function calls, right? So text and text with align, like text align. But it reduces the flexibility a little bit. So anyway, so an H-align in our case is going to be essentially H-align, align, yes. So what's funny is that when I was learning English, I didn't know how to pronounce align, so I was just calling it align. So, excuse me. Move occurs. Can I just? Okay. I think I can make it clonable and copyable. Yeah, it's gonna be derive clone Tsopi, Tzlon and Tsopi. You were young and innocent at that time. Yeah, true. True. Jesus Christ. Very funny. Thank you very much. Very funny. I pronounce words like that in my mind to remember. Yeah, same actually. Actually, it's a pretty good way to remember how to spell them. I wonder if native speakers do the same thing, because in English quite often the word is not pronounced the way it's spelled, so you need some sort of way to remember. Some people do, some people don't, I see. But I see. Well, probably because native speakers don't really have a point of reference, right? Because I have a point of reference because I have my native language where the things are pronounced the same way as they're spelled. So I have like a habit to do that anyway. So, but if you never spoke like in language where it is a thing, maybe like your brain works slightly differently and you remember things slightly differently. I don't know. I don't know how brain works. I'm sorry. I'm a Canadian, I'm sorry. All right, so let's see if this thing compiles. If this thing compiles and it runs, everything seems to be okie dokie karaoke. So if I try to do something like center, right? If I try to do something like center, and if I try to run it, it does a fucky wacky, says it is not implemented yet, which is fair enough. It is in fact not implemented yet. All right, so okay, so how are we gonna do center? So essentially we need to take the width of this thing, width of this thing, and subtract. Okay, so first of all, I need to save the result of these things to a separate variable, right? This is the thing that we need to render, right? So, and as a matter of fact, I think it makes sense to put it outside of this match, right? And basically reuse it every time I want to do something like this. So, when we have a center, let n is going to be s len. There we go. So, I take n as the whole width. Right, I take n as a whole width, and it's going to be f32. So I'm going to subtract width width of this thing, and what we get here is the size of the padding, so the size of this free space, and then we can divide it by 2 or multiply it by half, and what we will get, we'll get the size of how much we have to pad from left and from right. Does it make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. So yeah, and I'm gonna assign that to like padding, right? So this is the padding. So, and as a matter of fact, I think it would also make sense to floor it and convert it back into your size, because we'll have to you know, actually iterate several times there. So I mean, the bit shift is not gonna work because it's a float. Come on, like a bit shifting float to divide it by 2 is like... do you have a driving license? Didn't we discuss that already? Are you trolling me? No, I don't have a driving license. I don't even know how to drive. So, yeah. Imagine somebody unironically bit shifting float to divide by 2, thinking that it's gonna be faster. That's actually quite funny. Anyway, so in 0 padding, so we're gonna do add str, and we're gonna just add the space here, and we'll have to do that in both of the places. Add str s. There we go. Make sense? What's funny is that, if this value is less than 0, we shouldn't do anything. I think we shouldn't do anything. But I don't think it's going to be less than 0, because we're trying to fit everything into this space. So I don't think it's ever going to be 0. Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, it will have to be aligned slightly differently, but let me show. Anyway, so let's actually try to compile that and see how it works. And everything compiles, but now for this thing to take effect... Oh, it already should take effect, but it didn't. Shit. It literally didn't work, and I don't know why. So... Excuse me? So, all of these things, they should be padded here, but they are not. They're still sticking to the left, and I don't quite understand why. So, alright, we assigned a center to all of these things, right? To all, like each individual text here. So we have n. So n is the size of this thing. I think I'm an idiot. It has to be like that. We have to subtract the width. Is this React for the terminal? Not really. Maybe it is. Who knows? I haven't programmed... Oh, there we go. Would you look at that? They're fucking centered. They're fucking centered as fuck. Thoughts on JavaScript backend development? I didn't think about it. That's why I sleep so well. Oh yeah, and I also don't do it. That's why I'm so happy. All right. So this is the center, and now we're gonna implement right. Now we're gonna implement right. So yeah, there you go. Here are my thoughts about JavaScript backend programming. Well, I work as a Node.js developer. My condolences. Let's actually save. I want to kind of save this value because we will need it in the future. So I'm gonna call it free space. Now, can you center it vertically? I mean, I haven't finished centering it, like, I mean, aligning it horizontally. Let me finish align right, and then we can talk about centering it vertically. Okay, I know that it's unsolved computer science problem. I know that, but just let's finish everything first. Free space. So this is a free space. Yep, and so this one divides by 2. And what's funny is that in case of the right, we don't have to do that. We just have to floor it as you size. And let me actually go here. There we go. And I'm gonna do add str, and yeah. So this is gonna be this. So essentially, you have a free space. In case of a center horizontal, in case of a center, you split it in half and you pad on left and right. In case of the right, you don't split it in half and you just pad it only on the left. And that's how you achieve this kind of thing. So, right, so this is centered, this is centered. And now I'm gonna switch to right. Right, I'm gonna switch to right. And as you can see, it's aligned to the right. So now you can switch between like center, right, and so on and so forth. We can actually implement a pretty cool thing where we can try to do that in real time. Oh shit, it's gonna be actually kind of difficult to do that in real time because that means you'll have to traverse the whole tree of these things, and this sounds like a pretty huge pain in the ass, to be fair, but can you do that with events? Can you sort of send events to all of these things to tell them what to do? I have an idea. So it's probably not going to be part of the framework, but I want to try something like this. Realign. And we're going to accept halign here, right? So we have event. And here we're gonna do match event, and halign is gonna be realign, halign, and that means we're gonna do self halign, self halign. So, and for the rest of them, we're gonna probably ignore them. So I'm not sure if it's needed. I think it's kind of redundant right now, so I'm not going to put it here. So, and essentially, to realign something, you'll have to do handle event, and you can send realign, and you can realign it to whatever you want. halign center. Is it going to compile? Right. It does not particularly compile. Realign. Okay, so that means it's event realign. There we go. Okay, and also this has to be a pointer. Event realign. I have to copy, I suppose. Okay, did I have to clone or copy? I don't remember. I think I have to clone. Oh, wait. I can just dereference this thing and it's probably gonna work. Cannot borrow. Okay, this thing is immutable, so that means I have to make it mutable. Sure. And it fucking worked. This is actually pretty surprising. And why does it say that we don't handle left? We obviously handle left. What the hell? But anyway, so you can basically come up with the event that carries information, right? It carries information and you can send that event and it's going to get propagated through the entire tree because the UI forms a tree and a line is individual for each individual text. So what we can do here, we can come up with sort of information and just send it to the entire tree and it's going to traverse the entire tree and realign them accordingly. So essentially what we can do here is we can do match key as I32. Maybe I can do that and I forgot. Yeah, can I do it like that as I don't think I can, but I'm gonna give it a try. I think it's not gonna work. Yeah, it also has to be a comma, right? It also has to be a comma, and yeah, it's not gonna work. As 32, and then as char. I think is this how it works? Come on, you can do that. I forgot. How do you do that? As U8, yeah, as U8 and not exhaustive pattern matching. Okay, so in case of anything else, we're gonna simply ignore that. There we go. Okay, it works. Now, what I want to do, if it's Z, we're gonna assign the following thing. UI. So it's gonna be left. X is gonna be center. C is gonna be a right. So, and we're gonna live update all of that stuff. Right, there we go. Doesn't work. Interesting. That's really weird. Why doesn't it work? Probably because, yes, because boxes do not propagate these events, right? So HBox propagates the events, but I think VBox doesn't. All right, that makes sense. So let's actually make VBox propagate that as well. Yeah. All right. All right. And there we go. So I'm just pressing different keys and I can realign everything like differently. That's pretty cool. And all of that kind of works. And then, yeah. So, and the way it does it, it just, you know, propagates some additional information. I wonder how you can make this sort of event customizable and dynamic. Not sure if it makes sense to do it like that, but it would be super useful. Yeah, let's do a committee. Let's do a committee. So what did we implement that here? We implemented a horizontal align, right? Introduce horizontal align for text widget, right? Horizontal align for text widget, and let's push that right into the repo. Cheers, by the way. Do you have any demo app on your frameworks? I started developing it like an hour ago. No, I didn't have, I'm sorry. 90 minutes. Okay, it's more than an hour, I see. So it's an hour and a half. So I just started developing it. Come on. Cut me some slack. Alright, so now what we need to do here is to implement vertical vertical thinking. How are we gonna do that? This one is very interesting. Alright. So derive clone copy enum v-align, right? We're gonna call it v-align, and then we're gonna have something like top, center, yet again, and bottom, right? And maybe instead of that we should have like top left, top something, and just three sort of like, not three but 9 of the positions there. So, but I'm not quite sure. So we'll see how it goes. So, and here we're gonna have v-align, and we're gonna try to solve the impossible problem in computer science, vertically aligning elements. The computer science struggled so hard, especially in the web sector, to you know, align vertically, but we're gonna try to attempt to solve that problem once and for all. I know that it's gonna be hard, but we're gonna try to do that for the content, right? It shouldn't be that difficult, actually. I think we're gonna do the same thing as horizontally, except we're gonna pad with new lines. So that's pretty much it. So, and we don't really have to do any new lines. We just have to calculate position, like Y position of the drawing widget correctly. So v-align is gonna be top for now. So the default one is gonna be top for now. We'll see how it goes. All right, that's good. Now, so how we're doing all of that? So I think it can be resolved on the level of Y. So on the level of Y, we have a very similar situation actually. Use tables. Sure. Yeah. So the classical, you know, old school CSS trick on centering vertically is just to use tables, right? So just define the whole screen as a table cell, and within a table cell you can actually, you know, center things horizontally. 5-head mover, T-head, very fun. So I want to actually call this thing free H space, to emphasize that it's a horizontal space, right? It's a free H space. We can put it somewhere here. So then we're gonna have free V space. So it's gonna be rect H, and we're gonna subtract actually 1, right? Because we're not actually, since we're not wrapping around. Since we're not wrapping around, we're gonna actually subtract 1, right? So the size of the text, the height of the text is always gonna be 1 because we're not wrapping around. So that's why I can just safely just do -1. So it's totally cool. So, and since it's a float, I have to do like a floaty thingy. All right, so here's our free space, and depending on different thing, I will have to actually move this thing differently. So let's actually do that. Match self v-align, match self v-align, and the v-align is top is gonna be this. So you just move it to, you know, the left top corner, and that's it. So yeah. Oh shit! I'm just thinking. Can you just do padding the same way here? I think I'm gonna need it. Alright, so we'll probably have to refactor this stuff, because I'm pretty sure you can do like a horizontal padding by modifying coordinates as well. Okay, I'm an idiot. Why am I so dumb? I don't know. Top, center. Alright, center to do the align bottom. Realign bottom. All right. So, and the center is going to be what? Essentially, to do. Is it something that I'm not supposed to do? I'm sorry. So in here, center is essentially, well, we have to actually split everything in half. Plus 3 v space divided by 2. And then I'll have to floor all of that and use 32. There we go. So this is going to be the vertical center, right? This is the vertical center. There we go. So the bottom is, I think it's similar, except you just don't divide it by 2. That's it. Actually, that's the whole thing. And I'm thinking, can you do a horizontal alignment similarly? I think you should be able to. I think you should be able to. So let me recompile everything. I wonder if in the Chromium source code you can find to do add vertical centering. It's a good question. So N. Oh shit. Okay. So let me do something like this. So we'll still need that. All right. So variant is never constructed. All right. That's fine. Justify. Yeah. Okay. So let me actually go ahead and in text remove the default parameters here. So we're gonna only use the default one, right? So it's gonna be h-align, and this one is gonna be what? This one is gonna be left, right? So this is what we have. So that means here we can remove all of this stuff. It's not needed anymore. Ah, shit. Can you just do the thing for me? There we go. Thank you. Thank you so much. No, I'm not Canadian, okay? I didn't thank my editor right now, okay? Editor is not a living thing. So realign. So we're gonna have v-align here as well. Okay, so in here we have v-align. V-align, Vivun Zulu. God damn it, it's not. Alright, so it's gonna be sophisticated, but bear with me. So v-align. Is it gonna work? Okay, so this is exactly what I was expecting. So I think I'm gonna actually, you know, define a thing here. So instead of ZXC, we're gonna have QWE. So basically, I'm gonna allocate a square on my keyboard, like this square, for aligning horizontally and vertically simultaneously, right? So that's gonna be the idea. So here, so this is the left, but the vertical alignment. Oh shit, Q. Oh my god, Q is already taken. I'm an idiot. So let me actually assign it to P. It's a P break. Okay. All right. So let's continue. T break would be better. Okay, so let's call it a T break then. It's not as funny, but okay, thank you. But it makes more sense, I suppose. So align, so this one is top. In all of these cases here, it's going to be top. All right. So then I'm going to copy paste this stuff. Are you making a thing that could be used instead of incurses? Is that a TUI? Well, I mean, it's based on incurses, so I don't think it can be used instead of incurses, to be fair, because it relies on it. There we go. So, and another thing here is gonna be bottom. Scheiße. How much did you spend on your HHKB? I spent nothing because it was a gift from my parents. I would not be able to justify myself to buy such a keyboard at all. Seriously. But yeah. It's pretty poke. Yeah, I suppose. Alright. So... what do we have here? So we don't really handle anything anymore. So this thing is not used anymore. This thing is not used. Okay, so now we can try to realign everything and see how it works. Okay. There we go. Chat. We solved NP hard. Well, this looks scuffed, but I mean, yeah, but this is because we're using floats. This is because we're using floats and it doesn't really divide correctly, but it's trying. It's trying, but we have like a vertical thingy. Thank you for awarding me. All right, that's pretty cool, and you can actually, you know, can do this kind of stuff, I think. So basically can realign them however you want. So yeah. And I was just trying to press Q to exit, and it realigned it accordingly here. Yeah, that was funny. All right, so let's actually do a committee, right? We're gonna do a little bit of a committee, and maybe a pushy. Introduce vertical alignment to the text widget. There we go, and I'm going to push that right into the repo. You can find the source code of this thing here. Do you like the keyboard though? It's okay, I guess. I don't really care about the keyboards, but the thing I like about this one is that it's very compact. So it's extremely compact, and that's what I like about it. Yeah. Okay. Compactness for me is quite good because I usually move around between different apartments, and of course, like, I don't really have my desk, and I have to use the shitty desks that they provide there. So for me, the compactness is like very important. All right, so what we're gonna do next? Maybe we can try to come up with something else, some additional stuff, like a list, for example, right? Like a list, for example. But the thing I would like to come up with is custom events. Like, how can you come up with the custom events? Like, what if I want to like pass any sort of information anywhere? How would you approach that? Is there a void star anywhere? I don't know. So this one is kind of hard, but I think I will have to think about it, you know, appropriately. Maybe we're gonna have like a set of predefined events, yeah, so you'll have to deal with that, I suppose. Scroll pane. Oh, there's, maybe we're gonna have a scroll pane. We'll see. Anyways, so we're gonna do a committee. So trying to implement event dispatching or whatever. Yeah, essentially, I want to implement event dispatcher, but I'm not quite sure how exactly we're gonna do that. To be fair, like, I think instead of having realign all of that, we can basically introduce event key press, like introduce event key press, and make the texts handle that inside without having an event realign. I think that makes more sense, to be fair. I think it does. So let's actually introduce event keystroke, right? And we're gonna have like a key there. What get is ch return? I don't remember what it returns. I'm gonna assume it returns I32. There we go. So we're gonna have a keystroke. So, and essentially in a text, where is the text? Struct text. Implementation. I need implementation text. Oh, we don't have implement. Okay, I'm an idiot. All right. So, and this is where we're gonna handle all of that, right? So, event keystroke. It's gonna be I32, unfortunately, but okay. So I'm gonna put it like that. There we go. And I'm gonna just take this entire thing. So I think we'll still have to handle that outside of that widget. Yeah, it does make sense to handle that outside of the widget. All right, so, and in here, I wonder if I can easily use Emacs magic to do that. It's actually a very interesting question. Can I do something like this, where I would just do it like that, and then self H align, right? Then boom, self V align, and let's put it like that. And it almost worked. Yeah, it almost worked, and I think it did what I wanted. Yeah. I think it worked. There we go. It's kind of like scuffed and stuff. It's kind of scuffed and stuff, but overall, I think it's working. I think it's working. All right, and yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not supposed to use the camel key, like this kind of thing. So in the key, so I have to do it like that, and win unreachable. Yeah, it's true. So if, so it's gonna be match key as U8 as char, and if it's T, that means we have to break. Otherwise, right? Otherwise, it's going to be UI handle event, and the event is going to be event keystroke key. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let me see. So it has to be this kind of thing, and event keystroke. Yeah, it has to be this thing. All right, and we don't need this thing anymore. So realign, and we don't need that thing anymore as well. Cool. So, and now the texts themselves, right, are handling all of that. So this is what we have here. We have a tree. We have a UI tree, chat. So at the top of the tree, we have a vertical box that aligns its internal elements vertically. So we have a vertical box. So it consists of horizontal boxes. And each horizontal box consists of corresponding text, and we do the alignment within the text. And the job of the V boxes and H boxes to allocate, like they are given like a rectangle, the whole screen, and according to their behavior, they allocate a different, like a specific cell for the text, and text is supposed to fit itself into, right? So it's a tree. It's a UI tree. So it's not the immediate UI. It's more of a like a retained UI. So, and text itself has an alignment. And what we do here, we made the text handle keystroke, and depending on the keystroke, it now modifies its own alignment. So we're handling that within all of these things. What is your minimal feature set for the application you have in mind? Remember, you're making UI for shell selection. I don't have a minimal feature set because I have no idea what I'm doing. This is a literally research project, right? So I need to come up with a paradigm that sort of suits CM, right? And I don't know. We are in the middle of figuring out, right? We're in the middle of figuring out. Now the final challenge, draw a vertical penis using boxes of text. No, I'm not going to do that. Thank you very much. All right, so, all right, all of that works. And I think here we're not supposed to have these kind of actions in the text. I think if you want to have, you know, like a this kind of behavior, you sort of have to inherit text, but there's no inheritance in Rust, so you'll have to do a composition. So, you know, composition over inheritance situation, right? So you will probably create something like struct my text, where you have text, hello. I guess you didn't mean to say hello to me. I see how it is. I see how it is. All right. So, impl my text, there we go. And then handle event. Debated by Twitch at the completion, I see. I see. All right. So, and essentially what you'll have to do, you will have to just handle these things in my text, right? And then you'll have to forward that to the inner text or something like that. So that's going to be the actual way of doing that. So if you want to extend the behavior of the text. Yeah, that's pretty much the idea. All right, so does it compile? Does it compile? It seems to be compiling. All right, so let me commit what I just introduced. I essentially replaced the realign event with the keystroke event. We're gonna have like a resize event. I don't think so. I think this is the only event we're gonna have like a keystroke event. Yeah, don't really think we need anything else. Why Rust, by the way? Why not? Replace realign event with keystroke event. There we go. Let's push that right into the repo. I mean, why for this project not globally? The same answer. Same answer. All right. So main.rs. So I think we need to introduce like more interesting things, like for example, item list. For example, item list. So did I already introduce item list? Item list, maybe not. I really want to have it. I really want to have an item list. All right. So, and an item list is going to be a structure item list, and it's going to have items, and of course it's going to be T. Use mesh shaders, Jesus Christ. That mesh shaders are going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Jesus Christ. All right. So how did I implement that in CM? Because I had this thing in CM, I think. Item list. So yeah, this is basically how you do that. This is how we do that. You have to make it to string and clone. To string and clone. Oh yeah, but on the level of the definition of item list, it doesn't matter. It has to be done on the level of implementation. Yeah, it's kind of weirdness of Rust, but it is what it is. What the fuck? That superstar? It's a superstar. You know, there's like just stars and there's superstars. So essentially, modules form as a tree, right? They also form a tree, and I think it would be easier to draw that. Let's actually draw that super quick. All right. So you have a module. Right, and then you have submodules. Right, so you have some stuff defined within that module. You also have some stuff defined in the module higher. Right, so from within that module, you cannot access anything here. And this is essentially what it does. So if you do superstar, all right, you basically import names from this module into that one. So you go to your super module, to your parent. So super is your parent module, and you just export some stuff from there. So that's what it is. Does it make sense? Make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. Alrighty. So let's continue. So I'm gonna put it away super quick. I'm gonna put it away. So, and let's implement item list. So, and to be fair, I think I need to implement widget for item list like so. So that's what I'll have to do probably here. I think I'll have to do it like that. Yeah. So let's let the compiler do all of the work and tell me what I have to import here. So, I mean implement here. So I'll have to implement the render. Yep. And I'll have to implement the handle event. There we go. So these are the main things that we'll have to implement. And you know what? Jian, I think your suggestion to implement text was actually pretty cool, because I think I'm gonna just re-implement the rendering in terms of text. Yeah, I can just use text to implement all of that now. Huh. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I can now reuse text thingy in the item list. That's actually very cool. That is actually very cool. All right, so let's try to compile all of this. All right, seems to be working. So how are we gonna handle all of this? I think... Are we gonna actually store widgets? I don't think... It sounds like a pretty cool idea, by the way. Wait a second. Can we store widgets there? Oh shit. So, and we can have a situation when some of the widgets are going to be like edit fields and stuff. So you may have your custom widgets and... Oh yeah, it has to be box, vec boxed in widget, yeah. God damn, it won't be possible to do it like that, yeah. But yeah, maybe not for now, maybe later. It's kind of like Union. Basically, you enumerate what interfaces T should implement. So you're essentially saying generic parameter T, and it has to implement toString and clone and so on and so forth. So you basically enumerate what interfaces it has to implement. It's kind of a weird syntax, but well, that's how we do that. That's how you enumerate them. So all right. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna iterate through all the items. I'm gonna iterate through all of the items. I really want a P, by the way. I really want a P, so let's make a small break. Small break is gonna be... How many minutes? I think it's gonna be 2 minutes. I don't really want to refill my water. So... Alright, wait a second. Let's make a small break, and you guys have fun. Yo, what's up? Welcome back. Sometimes I feel like I'm saying that to myself because I'm the one who's back. So, all right. So we need to render the item list. So we don't really need to handle any events. Well, we will handle some events at some point, specifically up and down, right? So we're gonna have up and down. The only thing we need to do here is to render this entire thing. So it's going to be item in items. We're going to iterate here. So there we go. And we'll have to just render them. Yeah, we'll have to just render them, but we have to render them according to the rectangle here. So we'll have to move to rect X. We don't have any alignment here yet, by the way, but maybe we will. And the easiest way to implement that would be through text, but I want to keep things simple. So this is going to be Y as... So do I want to enumerate, actually? Do I want to enumerate? So let's actually enumerate. Alright, so this one is going to be I. There we go. So and then we're going to have plus I as F32, because this entire thing is in fact, well, I mean, this thing could be florfed, right? And then as I32, so it's going to be a little bit easier, I think. In terms of X, it's going to be just X, and to be fair, to be fair, it would be easier to just construct the text, but text have to own the string. But we'll have to construct the string anyway, so that means I'll have to do this to string. And here is that thing, so here's the text. So I'm constructing the text, so this is the text. And H aligned, I wish I could just, you know, use the default things here. H align is going to be left. So let's actually realign everything here super quick. So V align is going to be top. There we go. So that's the text we're using here. And then the position is going to be like this. It's rectangle. Render, and I need to create like a new rectangle where I'm going to render all of that. Hinge loss function is so simple. I wonder if it will be better than MSC loss. I don't know. I haven't tried any of them. Maybe I should try to do neural network development yet again. Friday topic question mark? Sounds like an interesting idea actually. Alright, so here we're gonna have a rect X. So this is gonna be X. Then we're gonna have Y. And Y is gonna be this Y. Yeah, so essentially like that. A rect Y as I32. Plus I. And no, you cannot do that easily. So I'll have to do it like this as F32. Width is going to be the width of this entire thing, rect width. And height is going to be 1 because it's a single row. And I wonder if it's going to work or not. We're about to find out. So let's see if all of that stuff compiles. Let's see if all of that stuff compiles. So this has to be self. What else do we have to have here? So there's no C. So this one's have to be 1. Mismatch type. Oh, this one has to be a pointer, sure. So, and this thing is unused. Okay, so perfectly compiled. So now we have a widget, which is an item list. But here's another interesting thing. So if I suppose well, yeah. If I is bigger or equal to the height of this thing. So this is where we're starting to have problems because we're using floats, right? And with the floats, it's not really like convenient to do this kind of comparison. So maybe rectangle has to stay integers. And only when we're doing calculations, like layout and related calculations, only then we should be converting to floats. So that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about. Anyways, so yeah. But for now we can keep it like that, sure. So if it's, yeah, as f32, if it's greater than that, I'm gonna break. It's kind of a dumb way of breaking out of the loop, but I think it's gonna work for now. So it's just to prevent overflow, right? So it doesn't overflow itself. Alright, so now what we need to do here, we need to add a simple list, right? We need to add a simple list. How can we construct an item list? So it's going to be a fan item list, and we're going to accept items, right? And each individual item is going to be t, and I suppose this is how we have to do that. So I want to keep this function generic. I want to keep it generic, and we're going to return dynamic widget here. So it's a pointer to dynamic widget. And essentially what we're constructing here is item list. So, and then we have items, and we're just moving them inside of it. So, and let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Does it compile? It doesn't even compile because it's not widgets, it's a single widget. Okay, so if I go to semicolon, box clone is not satisfied, so t has to be clonable. Sure. Are you happy now? Doesn't implement display. Wait a second. To put a thing into the box, it has to be displayable? Excuse me? Why? Why? I mean, okay. So display not found. Oh, that's really weird, but okay. std display. Maybe for the widget. No, we don't use display anywhere. This is the first time we're using. No, to put thing into this thing. Item list requires display. Wait a second. No, it requires toString and clone. Oh, you mean toString requires display? Really? Does it have something to do with the toString? I don't know. I didn't think so, actually. It's actually like toString. How toString and display are related to each other? I don't think they are. So because I don't really use display. Remove display and the error. Okay, you mean remove display here? Because I don't use display anywhere. Look. Like it's not used anywhere. And if I try to compile, it still complains. T cannot be formatted with the default formatter. So T does not implement a display, and I don't use display anywhere. So seriously, like it's, I don't know. I'm sorry. It says in the page toString for T. Ah, okay, I see. All right. So thank you. I'm Pepega. I'm really sorry about that. Like I didn't know that. Okay. I don't know where to look for that. Okay, the trait is automatically implemented for any type which implements display. All right. So whatever. I actually don't mind. Seriously, I was just surprised that you know, I have to implement that. I'm totally okay if this thing has to be. Let's do toString. Maybe that's what we need to do anyway. Help consider. So the parameter t may not live long enough. Oh shit. All right. Okay. So that means we're getting into the lifetime situation. So how can I say that? I don't know how to say that, because I don't want to make it static, by the way. I don't want to make it static. TA plus, okay. So, and then and then consider inducing lifetime here. So that means I have to do something like this as well. All right. It still may not live long enough, and so I forgot how you do lifetimes actually. So how can I add lifetime here maybe? I don't remember. God damn it. God damn it. You can't. Yes. Apparently I cannot. Alright, so that means static it is. So is this how we do that? I think. Yeah, wait a second. You have to put. Yeah, static, I see. Vex static. Okay, yeah. So if it accepted lifetime, I could have. It would be possible to do that, but okay, I see what's going on. Alright, so I guess we'll have to do static then. Sure. I wanted to have it a little bit more flexible, but okay, sure. Fair enough. So here we're gonna have the following thing: item list. Right. So here's the item list, and I'm gonna put these things there. So. And we're gonna have like string elements, I suppose. It's gonna be item 1. But if you're introducing static, you're probably doing something wrong. Yeah, probably. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure yet, because again, this is a research project. I'm not sure how to organize the whole framework yet. So that's kind of the point of this research project. Just to find out how to organize all of that. Alright, surprisingly, it all works. And there you go. So we have an element item here, as you can see. Oh, I mean, item list, which rendered its own items. And I think if it doesn't have enough space, it's not going to display these elements. Okay, so yeah, we have a grid that actually have, you know, different elements. This is the item list and this is the text. And what's funny is that we can try to realign them, and as you can see, texts react to realignment, but the item list does not. So that means we came up with a layouting system that can combine like different kinds of you know, different kinds of widgets, and it's extendable because then you can implement more kinds of widgets. So all of that revolves around a single trait here. Right, a very simple trait, which is called widget, and that widget trait has only two methods: render and handle events. So through a render, you trigger like a realignment of the whole thing, and it just renders everything. And handle event sends informations to the nodes of the like a widget tree. So right now we have only one event, but in the future I actually plan to have several of them. And maybe we also need to introduce the notion of a focus. Right, the notion of a focus. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting because the focus will determine where to propagate events. Oh, that's actually super cool. So essentially we have a V boxes and H boxes, right? So and V boxes may actually keep track of the current focus, what kind of widget is currently focused. So, and it's going to be just use size. So, and instead of going through all of the widgets and sending them that handle event, what they're going to do, they're going to actually do widgets self-focus, and of course this has to be self, and they're going to send that event only there, ignoring the rest of the children. So, and then you're going to have keys that will let you switch focus. And okay, this all coming together. I actually like how it's coming together, and it could be actually useful in the in CM. It could be actually useful in CM. I'm super happy about it. All right, so let me commit whatever we have. So I'm not going to commit focus right now. So I'm going to do things slightly differently. But of course, this thing is kind of weird. I mean, I can always just do it like that. Wait a second. this is not what I want. I want to revert the buffer. I just want to revert the buffer. So instead of like trying to come up with our own helper, we might just do things like this. We might just do things like this. Alright. Alright, there we go. So, and it's also going to work, and it doesn't involve like a static lifetime or anything like that. This hierarchy of boxes, then each one will keep the focus of the direct exactly. Also, item list maybe better as constructor on item list. Maybe, we'll see. But oh yeah, actually there is no constructors in Rust, and what you do, you have just methods, and methods can return anything. They do not necessarily have to return self, right? They might as well return like boxed self or whatever. I mean, yeah. But the problem is you can only combine them together when they're in boxes, right? So we have just wrappers here, so that we'll have to keep track of. All right, so we can do something like this, and let me try to compile that, and everything seems to be working. Everything seems to be twerking. All right, so let's do a committee, and then we're gonna do a pusher. Introduce item list widget. There we go. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. Macros, those wouldn't have lifetime problems, would they? Depends on how you implement them, I suppose. Alright. So, that's pretty cool. I would like to reorganize these things, but I don't think it's that interesting to watch. So, and we're already streaming for almost 4 hours, and I'm a little bit tired already, so I'm really sorry. I guess I'm gonna call it a day. So, thanks everyone who's watching right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you according to the schedule tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna do C++ development. We're gonna continue developing our text to video renderer in C++. Check out our schedule page for more information on different projects we're working on throughout the week. Also, check out our VODs channel. So we have a new YouTube channel where I upload all of the VODs from Twitch, so you don't have to watch them on a horrible Twitch interface. You can watch them on YouTube. So it's pretty convenient. So this stream is going to be there, but a little bit later, right? So maybe tomorrow. So yeah. So what else would I want to say? Also check out our Discord. So yeah, for offline discussion with the community. And yeah, that's everything I wanted to say. Thanks everyone for watching. I see you all tomorrow. Love you. Mwah.